Welcome to the following presentation of the National Football League on NFL Network.
I'm Jim Brown. Welcome to my city.
I know you got your own town. I know you got your own ways. I know there's no place like home, but I know you're gonna like it in my city. Everybody's welcome here. Everybody welcome to my city. We ain't got no worries here. I know you're gonna like it in my city. We got everything.
The E.J. Manuel era has begun.
The place all that know.
Jordan Cameron's got it.
Welcome to my city. Everybody's welcome here. Everybody welcome to my city. Come on, come on. You ain't never had a party till you come to a party in my city.
And our city is one that's already had its share of sports excitement this week. And although the Indian season didn't have a storybook ending last night, a new chapter starts in Cleveland tonight because the Browns are tied for first place in the AFC North. And on a night they'll honor the greatest Brown ever, number 32, Jim Brown. It's the Buffalo Bills and the Cleveland Browns from First Energy Stadium here in Cleveland. Welcome to Cleveland, everybody. Brad Nessler along with Mike Mayock, and we welcome you to Week 5 of the NFL. You know, 2 weeks ago, partner, the Browns are 0-2. Brandon Weeden gets hurt, their starting quarterback. They trade Trent Richardson to the Colts, and everybody thinks the Browns are throwing in the towel. 2 weeks later, local hometown hero Brian Hoyer's at the controls, and they're at 500.
And it's a great story. I mean, the kid played his high school football at St. Ignatius, just a couple of miles from here. So it's really kind of cool. The whole town has rallied behind him. Now, he's doing two things better, I think, than Brandon Weeden did. First of all, he processes information very quickly. And secondly, his delivery is more compact. Thus, the ball comes out. And he's also a little bit better athlete, I believe. Can tuck the ball and run. And how he handles the pressure of Thursday night football will dictate how efficient this offense is.
Well, the Buffalo Bills have been looking for a great quarterback since the days of Jim Kelly. They hope they found one in the rookie from Florida State.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, E.J. Manuel, 6'4", 237 pounds, big arm, great legs. What I like is they're protecting the kid from a scheme perspective. They're running the football 55 times a week ago in their win against Baltimore. They protect him with play-action pass. The kid can beat you deep down the field. He can beat you with their legs, but they're really trying to take care of him.
Well, we'll see if they take care of him tonight. Before we kick, we check in with the third member of our team, Alex Flanagan. Alex?
Hi, Mike and Brad. Well, the Buffalo Bills get a few key players in their lineup tonight who were listed as questionable because of injuries. Coming into this game this week, C.J. Spiller, the running back, will play despite missing practice because of a sprained ankle. And cornerback Leotis McKelvin returns to the lineup after missing Sunday's game with a hamstring injury. It's a big deal to get Leotis McKelvin back for this game tonight. The secondary has been banged up. Leotis McKelvin leads this team with pass breakups and gave Tom Brady a hard time week 1. He's also one of the most explosive punt returners in the National Football League. Spoke to him just a little while ago. He told me he's only about 85% healthy, and that may be one of the reasons why, Brad, Jim Leonard will be the one returning punts for this team tonight.
All right, Alex. Rob Chudzinski, an Ohio native in his own right, his first season as head coach of the Browns. He was an offensive coordinator here for a couple of seasons 5 years ago before going to Carolina. On the other side, another rookie head coach, Doug Marrone, was at Syracuse, native of New York, and now in his first season as Bills head coach, former offensive lineman in the National Football League. Buffalo won the toss and deferred. Cleveland will receive. Greg Little's back deep, and for the first time in the 65-year history of the Cleveland Browns, they're wearing all brown. We're underway. 6 yards deep. He'll bring it out. Not even at the 10-yard line. Great coverage on the kick. Easily gets down there to make the stop, and only a 14-yard return. So out comes Cleveland's offense. Here's the guy we're just talking about. North Olmsted, Ohio. As Mike said, about 5 minutes from here. And he's won his first 2 games. That hasn't happened since Mark Rippon. former Patriot. He learned behind Tom Brady, and he told us yesterday that's a big part of what he is and who he is. Getting his shot now, his 5th year out of Michigan State. Not a good spot to start, though. Inside your own 10-yard line. Willis McGahee gets to the 10, and that's about it. Let's take a look at the difference makers for the Cleveland Browns tonight.
They've got playmakers on the edge, and Jordan Cameron, the tight end, has 30 receptions, and Josh Gordon became eligible 2 weeks ago, not coincidentally. You know, they've won the 2 games since. He's a big vertical threat, and they throw the ball, Brad, 71% of their snaps, so that's a big part of their offense.
Gordon Cameron, almost nobody in the league playing tight end any better than him. On 2nd and 8, Hoyer's first throw is a seam route, and it's dropped. Josh Gordon, well,
he made a difference. Made a difference for Buffalo.
Yeah.
Oh,
that would
man.
have been a huge play, too. He had green grass in front of him.
Yeah, that was Manny Lawson was trailing him underneath. They had Aaron Williams over the top, and Aaron Williams squatted on the route. If that ball's caught with his speed, it might be 6 points.
Yep.
And that was a high school mistake. You see the head come up before he secured the football.
I think he was thinking about the other 70 yards.
Oh, man, that's a killer.
3rd down and 8. Hoyer from near his own goal line. Fires far sideline, too far in front of anybody. Greg Little was the closest Cleveland receiver, and Browns are going to have to give it up.
Yeah, Brian Hoyer thought that Greg Little won and was going to continue going deep. Little broke it off.
Alex Thomas, Jimmy Leonard back as the punt return man.
Now, Brad, here's the difference. Jimmy Leonard is secure. He catches the football, get you 7 or 8 yards. Remember the Thursday night game we did with Buffalo a year ago? Leotis McKelvin took it to the house the first time he touched it. Big difference in explosiveness.
Let's see if Jimmy gets to the 7 yards. He's going to get more than that. Jim Leonard, nice return to the 32-yard line. Right on cue, man.
Oh, man.
25-yard punt return by Jimmy Leonard.
One of my favorite players in this league. Played at Wisconsin, led the country in interceptions. A lot of people didn't think he was quick enough. You could see the hole right there. Makes one cut. Makes Gary Barnidge, the tight end, miss. Yount, the center, misses. He's quicker than fast. People hear me say that all the time, but it's true.
He was a walk-on for Barry Alvarez in Madison. And here he is, putting his team in great position at the 32-yard line. Fred Jackson only got about a yard before the Browns defense puts a stop to him. E.J. Manuel, number 1 draft choice out of Florida State. And last week beat the defending world champions. Both teams coming off big wins over Baltimore for Buffalo and a win over Cincinnati for Cleveland in the Battle of Ohio.
And they play at an impressive pace. Average 70 to 72 snaps a game, which is 2nd in the league.
Only to the Houston Texans. Here comes an option pass going to the end zone, and it is incomplete, but a penalty marker in the end zone.
This is going to be interesting. A lot of contact. TJ Graham on the reverse. They went after Joe Hayden, who had a great game last week. You can see Stevie Johnson. Hayden stays with him the whole way. They're both grabbing each other. But, of course, it's going to be on the defensive back, Hayden. He's grabbing him right there. Now Stevie Johnson grabs him.
And, of course, you see the flags flying, not yellow tonight. Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and so the flags are pink. Our first down marker is pink. You'll see a lot of that over the course of the next 3 weeks. So it's 1st and goal. Straight ahead, Fred Jackson for the touchdown. So it didn't take the Bills long after the punt return by Leonard. And Fred Jackson is in the end zone for the 3rd time this year.
Yeah, Cordy Glenn, the big left tackle, did a great job along with Frank Summers, the fullback. They're going to collapse this thing right down and watch the fullback, Summers, does a wonderful job. Ball clearly over.
Dan Carpenter in for the point after. Snap was a little off. The hold was good. So is the extra point. Just like that, Buffalo on the road Only had to go 32 yards in 2 plays. That was the big chunk right there, the pass interference. And then Fred Jackson from a yard, 7-0 Bills. Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Papa John's and Pepsi. Order online now. And by Mercedes-Benz and the all-new CLA, starting at $29,900. Less than 2 minutes into the game in Cleveland, and the Browns already trail by a touchdown. Jay Manuel didn't have to do anything except hand off to Fred Jackson on a 32-yard drive that was 1 penalty and then 1 rushing touchdown by number 22.
You know, Brad, it's amazing in an NFL game. You can point to certain plays that make a difference. Josh Gordon drops what should have been a 70-plus yard touchdown pass, then a big punt return and a holding or a pass interference, and next thing you know, you're down 7.
It's a 14-point swing right there in a minute.
It really is, and you never know when those plays are going to occur.
Carpenter's kick. Greg Little in about the same spot, maybe a little bit deeper. See if he can get to the 10-yard line. Just to the 10-yard line. Great job on kick coverage again. Chris Hogan made the tackle that time. Bills are saying that they had the football. Now we had the second skirmish here in the first couple of minutes. There's the hit on Little.
Now let's see where this football comes out right there before anything touches the ground. That's a fumble right there. Now, was there a clear possession coming up with it? Fumble, ball out, no doubt about it.
Browns coming up to the line of scrimmage.
Are they going to challenge that thing?
They get the snap away, it won't matter, and it won't now. Hoyer to the far side. This one's complete. Devon Bess has got a first down for Cleveland. As we take a look at our difference makers defensively.
Marcel Darius, I think one of the best young nose tackles in football. Reminds me of a young Vince Wilfork, and I was blown away by Aaron Williams last week. They trained him to play safety in training camp. Had to play corner last week against Baltimore. 2 interceptions and a solid all-around game.
Play action down the middle. This one's complete to Bess and another first down. Good catch and throw, pick up a 13.
Remember, they're a throw first team. Under center, play action this way, pop pass back to the left side. Get the ball out quickly and run with it. That's a good job against Justin Rogers, who's a backup corner.
You mentioned earlier, Brian Hoyer gets it out quicker maybe than anybody else in the league. And they moved out to the 35-yard line. Now they'll try to establish something on the ground, and Willis McGahee got about a yard.
And Brad, I think they have to be kind of persistent with the run game. They're not a run team. Last week they ran the ball 30 times. McGahee got half the carries. And when they traded Trent Richardson, the cupboard was bare at tailback.
Right.
So the day after they make the trade, they signed Willis McGahee. And that's fine in the short term, but they've got to get some production out of the run game.
Willis is the 3rd oldest tailback in the National Football League, and he's not even really in the kind of shape he'd like to be in. He's a little bit heavier than he would like to be. Hoyer has time to scan the field. He's running out of time. And he's going to keep it and run for the first down. Heady move. He wanted to throw, and he's slow getting up. He's not up.
Oh, boy. What he did there was exactly what we talked about earlier tonight. His athletic ability. Here comes Kiko Alonso. Now, remember, the whole helmet-to-helmet thing, I don't think that's what it's about. But he's not defenseless here. He's a running back with the football who's starting to give himself up. Looks like he catches his leg under him.
Brian Hoyer doesn't look like he can put any weight on his right foot. And on that play, Mike, I don't think there was a good landing for either leg, to be honest with you.
No, and there's going to be some conversation about whether or not this is unnecessary roughness by Kiko Alonso because the quarterback's giving himself up. The question you have to ask yourself is whether or not Alonso could have pulled off that late.
Play action, Brandon Weeden, the former starter, in at quarterback, plenty of time. And throws it out of bounds, incomplete. and he hears about it right away.
And it's an interesting play because they tried to throw it back to Jordan Cameron underneath. They sprinted right, throw back. The tight end was not available. He's going to come across this way. Watch what Whedon does. We talked about how Hoyer gets rid of the ball quickly and efficiently. That's not here, so now he's going to throw it down here. And it's inaccurate and it's late. The ball, he's wide open now, and he throws it away.
Kansas.
Second down and 10 from the 47. McGahee. Not much room there. Kiko Alonso, the middle linebacker, is the first guy to make contacts. And Alonso leading all rookies in tackles so far through 4 weeks.
John Greco does a nice job getting up in the hole. And Brad, I think the left side of this line does a great job. Greco gets right there on the linebacker Lawson. McGahee cuts off of him. And you're right about Alonso. One of the most active young linebackers in this league, Brad.
He had 2 interceptions last week as well. So now the 7th play of the drive that was started by Brian Hoyer and is now in the hands of Brandon Whedon. And just near midfield. And Whedon's in trouble. Throws desperately into no man's land. Incomplete. Manny Lawson had a hand on it. And Brian Hoyer's heading to the locker room. Let's check in with Alex.
Is it right when you said it looked like both legs were affecting him, but the team is officially calling it a right knee? His return questionable. You see him there going into the locker room. He keeps rubbing the right knee. It's such a disappointment for a guy that was so excited tonight to be in the spotlight.
And the fans were as well for it. So Spencer Lanning's got a punt again. Jim Leonard had a 25-yard return on the last one. This time he'll call a fair catch and take it right at the 10-yard line. Just under 5 minutes into the first quarter here on Thursday Night Football from Cleveland. And the hometown Browns down a quarterback and a touchdown.
And Brad, you can see here the difference in athletic ability. Watch Hoyer in the pocket, good quickness, runs away from the nickelback Nickel Roby, becomes a running back, makes something happen. And then Whedon in the pocket, trouble. Now, he can't get away, and he's just going to have to throw it away. So if Whedon's your quarterback, you're giving up some athletic ability.
This guy has athletic ability. E.J. Manuel, the rookie. Play action. Plenty of time to throw. Fires to the near side, complete. Scott Chandler, the tight end, picks up 5.
You know, that's an interesting play. It's the touchdown pass he threw last week against Baltimore. A little play action, and it's only 2 receivers in the route. And really nice job by Cleveland covering it. And then he just checked it down.
And the Bills going with their tempo offense here. From the 15. Manuel in the shotgun. Quick throw over the middle. Ricochets in and out of the hands of the intended receiver. And that was Lee Smith, the other tight end. We take a look at the difference makers for the Bills offensively.
Yeah, Robert Woods came up large last week against Baltimore, 2nd-round pick out of USC. And I think Fred Jackson's one of the least appreciated backs in his league. He's averaging almost 6 yards a carry and by far their best pass protection back.
Fred is the oldest running back in the NFL. I mentioned Willis McGahee, the 3rd oldest. Greg Jones of the Texans is stuffed in between. 3rd down and 5. And Cleveland may have jumped. Might be a free play here for Manuel. Across the middle. Tip. And now caught by Chandler. And that wasn't a tip drill. It wasn't intended for 84, but they'll take it.
And I think Paul Kruger jumped off sides. Nice job by the young quarterback enticing him across.
Offside. Number 99 defense. Penalties decline. The result of the play is the first down.
Good job getting him to jump, but not a real accurate throw. It's going to be off the fingertips, and there's Chandler alertly with the catch.
Pickup of 20. Chandler's 2nd catch on this drive that's moved them out of the 35-yard line. Now it's Tashard Choice. And Tashard Choice gets 5 or 6 before Reuben makes a stop.
C.J. Spiller is up today, Brad. And you and I have seen him play a lot of football, but he's trying to fight through an ankle. And I don't think he's been as quick or effective as last year.
Tashard, a much different kind of guy than C.J. But he did pick up good yardage there. 2nd down and 5. Manuel slant complete. 1st down. Stevie Johnson Sits down at the 46.
And I like it. They keep it simple for the rookie again. Quick play action. It's a zone defense. Stevie Johnson sits it down between the safety and linebacker, and he puts it on him.
Fred Jackson checks back in to the Bills' backfield. On the 46-yard line. Second offensive series for Buffalo. They already lead by a touchdown. And it's a draw play to Jackson. Got out near midfield. TJ Ward came up from the secondary to make the stop for the Browns defensively as we take a look at their difference makers on that side of the football.
Phil Taylor, I mentioned earlier Darius being a great young nose tackle. Phil Taylor, 350 pounds, has really improved his game. And I thought Joe Hayden had one of the best corner games I've seen all year last week against A.J. Green.
Did he ever? Play action bootleg, and the pass incomplete, intended for Johnson. And it was Buster Screen, the other corner, making the play for the Browns.
So, Brad, let's talk about how they protect this quarterback. First of all, they run the football, right? Secondly, a lot of play action where they move the pocket. He's much more comfortable as he's rolling out. Clear vision, nobody around his feet. They do a wonderful job of saying he's our first-round pick. We're going to develop him slowly, but we also have to try and win football games while we're doing it.
8th play of the drive from midfield. And 3rd down and 6. Bills have only been about a 30% third down team this year so far. Manuel gets some heat that time, but he delivers a strike to Johnson, and another Buffalo first down.
Really nice job with the pass protection. 3rd and 6 is when they heat you up a little bit, and you're going to see Cleveland coming off here, okay, with a couple different players from the outside. Nice pickup. Ball comes out very quickly. There's a free runner who can't get home.
And on 3rd and 6, a 13-yard pickup and a first down. And C.J. Spiller is in the lineup for the Bills for the first time. They fake it to him, and Manuel runs right in to Reuben. Wow. Atama Reuben with the sack.
Yeah, quick and explosive outside right tackle Eric Beers. He's inside here. He's going to come this way. Loops outside on a stunt. Just a little outside slant. He and the linebacker exchange responsibilities. Piers misses him. Big play.
E.J. wasn't expecting 330 pounds in his face that quickly, I don't think.
No, man, you got to get your head on a swivel on bootleg.
So 2nd and 19 now. Back at the 46-yard line. Manuel throws to the outside, completes. T.J. Graham. And Graham diving for extra yardage. And a pickup of 12.
T.J. Graham can run. That guy is a track athlete that also is a football player first and foremost, but he's got close to world-class track speed.
Fred Jackson comes back in as you look from high atop First Energy Stadium, where Buffalo leads 7-0. And again, they find themselves in a 3rd down and 7. They picked up 13 last time they were in this situation.
Yeah, alert jump, exotic defenses.
Manuel blitz coming, throws on the run. Oh, what a hit on Graham. And it was Kiki Mingo, the #1 pick out of LSU, that said hello to TJ.
Yeah, they brought an overload blitz, and the nickel defender, Chris Owens, came clean. See Mingo, the 1st-round pick, alertly sees the crossing route, drops the shoulder.
How smart was that?
Now, yeah, I'd like to see that even more closely to make sure it was below the helmet, but he dropped the shoulder on him, which is classic textbook with safety being so important.
Dan Carpenter's long field goal this year is 55. This will be a 52-yard attempt. Kick out of the way, and it's good. So Cleveland's defense makes a stop, but Doug Marrone's Bills still get a score. 52-yard kick by the veteran. And the Bills lead 10-0. Friday night in Cleveland. Thursday Night Football brought to you by Gravity from Warner Brothers Pictures. It's in theaters tomorrow. And by Verizon. Never be without football. Call Star NFL to download NFL Mobile from Verizon. Had a little bit of a mist earlier, and then it went away for Rich and the guys down there to stay dry. And right now Buffalo leads Cleveland 10-0 with 5:51 remaining. And Brandon Weeden, if you're just joining us, former starting quarterback, missed a couple of games with a thumb injury. Brian Hoyer came in, won 2 games. He was injured earlier in this quarter, so it's back on the shoulders of the former #1 pick. Kick goes deep, and Bobby Rainey is not going to bring that one out. Hey, got to remind you, we got a Sunday night special edition of Thursday Night Football this week. Phillip Rivers looking to continue his resurgence, leads the Chargers into the black hole against Terrell Pryor and the Raiders. Chargers and Raiders, Sunday night, 11:30 Eastern, 8:30 p.m. Pacific, live on NFL Network. Of course, Oakland's the only place where football and baseball plays in the same stadium, so the A's are there. So things got moved around a little bit. But anyway, you'll get some extra football on NFL Network on Sunday night. Wheaton throws quickly, complete. Josh Gordon. And Gordon run out of bounds with a first down by Aaron Williams. But a pickup of 15, and that maybe will give just a little bit of confidence to Brandon Wheaton, who I'm sure his confidence has been shaken a little bit recently.
Yeah, former first-round pick who's got a really solid arm. And he's played enough, so he should be very comfortable. And what I like there, Brad, was it was really no effort. It was a soft corner. Both he and Gordon recognized it, and they took quick advantage of it.
In his second year out of Oklahoma State, I'm sure you know his story. Played baseball for a while, so he turns 30 later this month. Down the middle, complete. Obadiah, and a pickup of about 6. Alex.
Brad, Brandon Wheaton didn't know that he would be backing up Brian Hoyer until last night. Remember, he's been inactive the last 2 games because of a sprained thumb. This is the first week that he's actually had the cast off of that thumb. It spoke to him a little bit before the game. He told me he's feeling 100% tonight. Gave me the old adage, I just got to stay ready mentally because you never know when you have to come in. Little did he know it was going to be so soon.
Boy, is that the truth.
Yep.
Again, he hit in the backfield by Kiko Alonso, a rookie out of Oregon, and a loss of 5. This guy's all over the place here the first month of the season, isn't he?
Yeah, four interceptions, 32 tackles coming into this, more than any other rookie. He's going to sneak up and attack through the A gap between the center guard. They don't see him. And, you know, Brad, what's been interesting is just how the veterans and the coaches talk about this second-round pick, how he just came in day one and just took over the defense, made all the calls. And Kyle Williams said, hey, the dude just doesn't make any mistakes.
Didn't make one there, that's for sure. 3rd down and 8. Wheaton steps up and steps into trouble. Down he goes, back at the 30-yard line. And it's Mario Williams who leads the team in sacks, and that's number 6.5 on the season.
This is classic Mike Pettin. Look at all these guys up on the line of scrimmage now. Which ones are coming? And what happens is they're just going to do a little stunt right here. Williams to the outside, Mario back to the inside. So even though 7 are up, only 4 or 5 are coming. The question is, which 4 or 5?
So Lanning's got a punt again. Jim Leonard had 1 good return and 1 fair catch. This will be his 2nd fair catch. And he'll take it around the 25-yard line. 3:37 remaining. Browns at home, trailing by 10 on Thursday Night Football. Bills with a 10-0 lead. Fred Jackson only had to go a yard after a pass interference penalty that followed a 25-yard punt return by Jimmy Leonard. And Brian Hoyer, just when things were going right for the Browns on their 2nd drive, he was injured on an 11-yard scramble that picked up a first down. He's in the locker room. Brandon Wheaton is in at quarterback, and now the Bills playing with a 10-point lead. And E.J. Manuel firing and knocked down Buster Screen. Nice play defensively on Robert Woods.
Yeah, this was pure man-to-man all the way, so the play action didn't affect it. Buster Screen, really quick feet at a tiny Chattanooga. Watch how quickly he recovers once his back is turned. Excellent job in man coverage against Robert Woods.
Brings up 2nd down at 10.
And the ball was thrown a little late, which is typical of a young quarterback.
And E.J. didn't like the looks of something, and he'll take a timeout for Buffalo. 3:32 remaining, first quarter. We'll take the timeout as well. We'll be right back. Sunday's game day at NFL Network's got the earliest start for you at 7 o'clock. Hall of Fame cast on NFL Game Day morning follows at 9. Game day continues the best plays of the day. The highlights at 7:30. Don't forget, special edition of Thursday Night Football at 11:30 Eastern, 8:30 Pacific time with the Raiders and Chargers. It is a full day of action on NFL Network. Brad Nessler, Mike Mayock, Alex Flanagan, and our NFL Network crew here in Cleveland. That's Stevie Johnson, starting wide receiver. Working on him over on the Buffalo sideline. Draw play, Fred Jackson cuts it outside, broke a tackle, diving forward, is going to have the first down. Best run of the night by Fred, other than the touchdown, I guess.
This is a lead draw, one of their favorite plays. You're going to see 60, Urbic get up on the linebacker, but also watch the fullback Summers. Great job at the point of attack. Look at that right there. Has the hole, makes the cut. That's really nice job. Good coordination between the line and the fullback.
And a pickup of 11. This time only about a yard. Jackson taken down by Paul Kruger and Phil Taylor.
You know, Brad, you hate to say there's a big series this early in a football game, but, you know, it's 10-0. You're the home team, the Cleveland Browns. There was all this excitement and energy, and this young quarterback gets hurt. It was like a kick in the gut.
It sure was.
Took all the energy out of the stadium, and they need to make a play here. Defensive stand.
Rashard Choice cuts it up inside. Nice spin move to get extra yardage. He's going to be a couple of yards shy of the first down.
And this guy, Frank Summers, there aren't a whole lot of fullbacks left in the NFL.
Yeah.
Frank Summers, every tape I watched, is knocking down defensive ends and linebackers. Whether he's in the traditional fullback position or offset like he was that play, he's truly a valuable member because they throw the ball, they run it 55 times, and you got to have a guy that can do that.
It was a huge third down now for the Browns fans and their defense. Third down and 2. Manuel will throw for it, maybe. Hit as he tried to throw. Nice hustle by Markevius Mingo again. #1 draft choice given chase, and they do get the stop they were looking for.
Yeah, I think they wanted Chris Hogan just here real quickly to try and pick up the first down. Good coverage by Buster Skrine being underneath him like that. There's nothing. Look at these guys. There is nothing. Now here comes Mingo from behind. Mingo ran like 4.5 at 250 pounds. Guy flies. Nice job, and that's the stop that Cleveland needed.
And it forces Sean Powell to punt. Travis Benjamin stands back at the 10-yard line. He's a dangerous return man if he gets some room. And he might have a shot here. Benjamin from the 12. Going far side. He's got great speed. If he can get one block, he got it down the sideline, and now going to get run out of bounds by the punter, but it's a great return down to the 31-yard line.
Partner, you called it. That is an explosive kid out of the University of Miami. He only had 5 receptions coming into the game, but last week he went 39 on a tunnel screen. If he gets some time, and good job blocking, they blocked Marcus Easley, the gunner. That's why he had so much time. Actually, the punter does a pretty good job.
No doubt. Or it would have been a touchdown. As it is, first down for the Browns.
Good tackle by Sean Powell.
Great opportunity here for Cleveland at the 31-yard line of Buffalo. Play action. Whedon might want it all in one play. Now he's going to come back and throw it in the dirt. Somebody hit his arm. It was Kyle Williams. And again, Brandon Whedon in there at quarterback because the guy that started tonight, Brian Hoyer, out with an injury in the first quarter here earlier.
Boy, Kyle Williams, just got a great picture of what a football player is.
Second down and 10. McGahee. And Willis, that's his best run of the night at the 25-yard line. Jim Leonard made the stop. Talked about Brian Hoyer. They just had something working. This is a first down scramble when he's hit by Kiki Alonso, and both legs under him in a strange fashion, and he's limping on the right ankle, but I can't think the left one feels that good either.
Well, that's just such a shame. The kid was playing so well, 2-0 as a starter, had it going there on that scramble. I think he's going to learn that if you're going to get down, you need to get down early in this league.
The Browns are 0 for 3 on third down conversions. 3rd and 4 here. Whedon and Devon Best got nailed over there by Aaron Williams, and a flag flies in.
Completely unnecessary shot there. The ball was already incomplete. He's considered defenseless. If you go anywhere above the shoulder pads, you're going to get it. And that was helmet to helmet. And again, unnecessary. The ball's already out. There's the contact.
After the play
That's obvious.
was over, personal foul. Unnecessary roughness, number 23. Defense, helmet contact. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And you hear Pete Morelli with the call, and also Aaron Williams will be hearing from the league office, I'm sure, on that one.
Yeah, I think that one's going through New York, and he's going to get a special delivery package on Monday or Tuesday that no player in the league likes to get.
And luckily, Bess wasn't hurt. So that penalty moves it down to the 12-yard line. Again, set up by the punt return by Travis Benjamin.
And another penalty critical here. That extends the drive. That was third down, right, Brad? Yeah, that's a field goal attempt at that point. Now they're knocking on the door.
Final 48 seconds of the quarter. Weeden in the shotgun. Again, runs up in the middle and into trouble and into Kyle Williams again. And you can hear the fans again. Brian Hoyer, when he goes back there, he makes a decision and lets it rip. And Brandon Weeden, quite frankly, is probably the slowest in the league with his release.
Yeah, he's a long, lanky guy. And I think they wanted Jordan Cameron there. Good job by Alonso. First, Alonso's going to get a piece and release him to Searcy. There's the piece, and here's Searcy over the top. So when you're a young tight end with 30 catches, Brad, they're going to pay some attention to you.
Bobby Rainey checks in to the Cleveland backfield.
Now they've got one-on-one up top. Let's see if they try and work that.
They're going to give it to Rainey. A sweep to the left side, and he's going nowhere. Might have eked out a half yard. Aaron Williams and Alonso are there again. So the Bills have got a drive going, but they're going to have a huge third down and a very long one to start quarter number 2. We played 15 in Cleveland, and it's the Bills by 10.
Mike Pettin, defensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills. I think he's one of the top young coordinators in this league.
So far, his team pitching a shutout as we start the second quarter. And a third down and 13 for the Browns. Weeden across the middle, complete, and Cameron loses it out of bounds, but picked up about 5 on the reception.
It's like Manny Lawson got a piece of that. Conservative play there. They want to secure the three-point field goal attempt.
So it's going to be a 30-yard field goal attempt. Really kind of 5 out of 7 so far on the year. Had a couple of misses last year, but hit the 51-yarder that they needed to beat Cincinnati. Cundiff to try to put the Browns on the board, and it's perfect. So just a little over a half minute into the second quarter, and the Browns have their first score of the night.
Aaron Williams, of course, with the big penalty that allowed that drive to continue. Travis Benjamin set the whole thing up with the big punt return.
57-yarder by Benjamin. That was the majority of what they needed to get the 3. Reminder, NFL fans, share your story about why you love football. Go to TogetherWeMakeFootball.com for official rules and a chance to win a trip to Super Bowl 48. So just a 19-yard drive in 7 plays to get the field goal. A little over 2 minutes. The Bills who lead 10-3. They haven't had a drive, a scoring drive, Buffalo, all year that's lasted 5 minutes. So they do things in a hurry.
And especially since they run the football so much, you would think they would, but their tempo is excellent.
Cundiff to kick. Marcus Easley will wait on the other end. And he's going to bring it out from 7 yards deep. Only got across the 10, and he's run down by a host of Browns, led by Paul Hazel. So good job by the special teams of Cleveland to bring them down and put Buffalo in a little bit of a hole. But so far, good football game.
Cleveland hung in there, and it was really kind of a body shot when the young quarterback goes out of the game. He makes a big play. There's excitement. The stands are going crazy, and all of a sudden, the guy that's led you to 2 big wins is gone.
And now the rookie quarterback, E.J. Manuel for Buffalo, takes over the 12-yard line. And no gain, and the ball almost came out there from C.J. Spiller.
Now, this team's dominated, I think, in all 3 phases of the game. First, Jim Leonard, punt return, 35 yards, set up the first score. And then, defensively, Mario Williams coming underneath. It's special teams, it's defense, and there's Stevie Johnson, and drive extending the first down.
And now C.J. Spiller trying to weave his way around. It only got about 2 yards before John Hughes brings him down. And so now Buffalo is going to find itself in a 3rd down and long. CJ again laying on an ankle that's not quite 100%. And he comes out on a 3rd down and 8. Now wideouts, Woods, Easley, and Graham in there.
3rd and 8's when Ray Horton will typically heat things up defensively, and if I saw C.J. Spiller in the game, I'd be alerting him on a pass.
Manuel's got a wide open wideout in Robert Woods, the rookie, and it's a 1st down. Pick up at 15.
What happens is typically linebackers will take the cheese, and what I mean by the cheese is the short route up here. Jackson drives on the short route. Woods goes behind them, and really a nice read by the quarterback.
Out to the 30-yard line. Woods' first catch of the night. Fred Jackson back in now for Buffalo. They've got everybody receiver-wise in tight, including Lee Smith, the backup tight end. Got a blitz, a run blitz, and it pays off. Mingo and Robertson are there to meet him.
Craig Robertson's an interesting guy, 2nd-year player out of North Texas. Really flies, and I think that's what caught their eye when they first signed him as an undrafted free agent. His ability to run. And in today's game, where they spread you out offensively, more and more you're finding linebackers and safeties that all run like defensive backs.
Manuel in the gun on 2nd and 10. Quick throw again to the outside, sliding down to make the catch. Woods for a pickup of 6, and we'll have another 3rd down upcoming.
I really enjoyed watching E.J. Manuel through the draft process, Brad. He's a guy that at first a lot of people, including me, thought was about the 4th or 5th best quarterback in the draft. And then I went to his pro day. I watched him rip it. I spent some time with him. I watched a bunch of his tape, and I came out of it saying I think he and Geno Smith are the 2 best quarterbacks in this draft because they both are guys that can make a difference and win a game on their own.
Here he is on 3rd down and 4. Gets rid of it in a hurry. Almost threw that one to Paul Kruger. And the Browns defense will force another Bills punt.
Fred Jackson does a really nice job, as always, in his pass protection. Watch him step up. He's going to eat grass and stay square on the linebacker. Now, Manuel throws it off his back foot when he didn't have to, and that's one of my complaints. You can see Paul Kruger, defensive lineman for a reason. He ain't catching that. But one of my issues with the young quarterback is the lack of consistency with his footwork. And he'll work on that, but that's a problem right now.
Sean Powell's first punt went 44 yards. The bad news was the return by Travis Benjamin went 57.
Low one again.
And Benjamin's going to have another shot from the 20. This time, much better coverage by Buffalo, only about a 7-yard return. And that's where Cleveland will go to work, trailing by a touchdown here in the 2nd quarter. Thursday Night Football is brought to you by LG G2. Learning from you with LG, it's all possible. And by Pizza Hut. Get the $10 any pizza deal now and create your favorite pizza for just $10. The greatest Brown ever, Jim, will be honored here at halftime. I was on with the guys down on the field before the game. You've never seen more people trying to take pictures in your life.
Were you one of them?
I was. Whedon on the crossing route, incomplete. Should have been caught. Obadiah And he really got popped, and he's still down.
Okay, Mario Williams is a powerful dude, man. He's pushing Mitchell Schwartz around.
Obaniah's kind of a do-everything back.
Now look at him. That's kind of the Reggie White hump move right there. And he pushes Schwartz right back in his lap. Very disconcerting for a quarterback.
And they're helping Obaniah off the field.
Now, they don't have a whole lot of backs. And remember, he doubles when they need a fullback. So they're down tonight, to Willis McGahee and Bobby Rainey.
And of course, 2 weeks ago, they had Trent Richardson, their former #1 pick out of Alabama, traded him. And so they're pretty thin in that backfield. Willis McGahee is in it right now on 2nd down and 10. And McGahee, only a couple.
You know, we have that conversation about that trade, Brad. You know, that was big news a couple of weeks ago, and a lot of people in Cleveland and around the league thought that Joe Banner, Mike Lombardi, and this group kind of said, okay, the season's over, we're going to build through the draft. In comes Brian Hoyer. They sign McGahee. They get the thing stabilized. They're playing really good defense, and I think the important thing is all the draft picks they're accumulating for next year's draft.
Hey, Mike Smith is line short.
They got a lot of power in the draft next year in the early rounds. 3rd down and 8. Whedon has time. Fires complete. And it's the tight end Cameron. And he's got a 1st down for the Browns. And picked up 19.
Really nice job. What's going to happen is they're going to rock these safeties here and bring a safety here. Now watch 84. Cameron just runs a little out right here. Nice job, A, picking up the pressure, B, identifying the tight end with the mismatch, and Whedon rips it to him.
Cameron, another one of those converted basketball players. A la Graham and Gonzalez and Gates and company. That was a pretty good run by Willis McGahee. Manny Lawson and Mario Williams made the stop. Here's what we were talking about, and Mike was talking about specifically, number of picks next year for the Browns.
And I think the net of this whole thing is the ammunition to move up next year in the 1st round if the Browns identify a quarterback they want to go get. And that's been the Achilles heel. We don't know where this team's going with Hoyer or Whedon or Jason Campbell for the rest of the season, but I think the flexibility to be able to do that is critical.
McGahee's best carry, picked up 6, 2nd down and 4. Is Whedon on play action. Fires, dangerous pass. That could have been 6 going the other way. And Nikel Roby almost had his hands on that one.
You know, I first saw this kid a couple years ago, and here he is. He's the nickel playing zone. Eyes on the quarterback. Watch him drive. He sees Whedon wind up, and he almost gets there. Did a game, USC Notre Dame a couple years ago. He just gets a piece of that. And the kid competed his tail off against Michael Floyd, and I said, I'm going to follow that kid.
What a better name for a nickelback than Nikel.
I would change it.
To what, starter?
To nickel instead of Nikel.
Here's a quick slant, and caught for a 1st down. Greg Little, Mr. Dependable, picks up 8.
Greg Little is a 220-pound wideout. High pick, 2nd round pick out of North Carolina. Has some inconsistency issues, but when it's good, it's real good. When it's bad, it's kind of ugly.
So Brandon Whedon's got a little something working here now for Cleveland. At the 39-yard line of Buffalo. 2 tight ends set. Trailed by 7. Whedon steps up, fires far side. A strike over there to Josh Gordon. And another 1st down. So a little bit of rhythm here for number 3.
Josh Gordon was suspended for the first 2 weeks of the season. Has made a big difference since he's been back. His speed is about a 4.4 guy at 220 pounds. He gets Aaron Williams turned around, and Brad, when you watch tape of defensive backs in off coverage against him, they're all worried about his speed, and they all turn and run early, and the ability to run a deep comeback off that is critical.
8th play of the Browns drive. McGahee found a hole up the middle, and Willis has got a 1st down at the 12-yard line. And he didn't look 31 years old there, did he?
I don't think he's got the same burst. You can see 2 tight ends over here, and a nice job reading it. The pulling guard, Greco. That hole's wide open. He doesn't have the explosion he used to have, and I think he'd be the first one to tell you. but he can still drop the pad level. He can still understand the hole, which one to hit, where to go, and he's a good pass protector.
They list him at 235. North Turner told us yesterday probably closer to 245 right now.
Yeah, it's not the same burst, but there's a dependability there that's pretty good.
With 7.5 to go in the half, Brandon Whedon is going to take a timeout. But the Cleveland Browns have got a good drive going for Rob Chudzinski, trying to even this thing up. Timeout, Browns. About more than pink on the field. Together, the NFL and the American Cancer Society are helping women across the country make a crucial catch. You can hear the personal impact stories and find out how you can help finish the fight against breast cancer at NFL.com/pink. And it's, I'm sure, affected you that are watching tonight. No exception for our NFL family. We lost a wonderful and dedicated employee last summer. Natalie Parker was only 30 years old, and she is greatly missed. The Browns at the Buffalo 12-yard line with a first down. Willis McGahee met in the hole, but he carries the tackler Jim Leonard for a couple more yards, picked up 6. Followed John Greco nicely, and Willis the workhorse in this drive right now.
Yeah, that's a pretty interesting group you just mentioned. You've got McGahee with 11 years in the league and Jim Leonard with 9. 2 wily veterans, smart, tough, fun to watch.
Now the Browns can get a first down inside the 3. And we got movement. Down goes
Frazier. Down goes Frazier.
Lobau run over by Kyle Williams.
Encroachment. Number 95.
No, there's the first down for free.
Still second down.
Oh, still second down.
Yeah.
Beg your pardon. Half the distance isn't going to quite cut it. Rob Chudzinski, first year as head coach here in Cleveland. And Doug Marrone, first year as the head man of the Bills. Both at 2-2. Off to pretty good starts. Buffalo trying to change up defensive personnel. I don't know if they're going to have time or not. Finally, they are set. Second down and a yard. McGahee gets the yard, I think, which would put it at first and goal at the 2-yard line. Leonard and Williams on the bottom of the pile again.
Had a fun conversation with Kyle Williams on the field before the game. I just told him I enjoyed watching him on tape because he plays so hard. And he said, you know, a lot of young guys these days play for Pro Bowls or money. He said it's got to be more than that. And he quoted Russ Grimm when he went into his Hall of Fame. And he said in Russ's speech, he said, Russ Grimm said, playing in the offensive or defensive line is imposing your will on another man against his wishes.
I'm surprised they don't measure this. I thought he may have had the first down, and now I think that's what Chud just came up and said to the officials.
Yep.
It's third down. It's not a yard for sure. So quarterback and head coach will have a chat here. So we remind you, Sunday night special edition of Thursday Night Football. Phillip Rivers, how good did he look last week? Terrell Pryor should be back and ready to go for the Raiders, Chargers, and Raiders. It's Sunday night, a special edition of Thursday Night Football, if you will. 11:30 Eastern Time, 8:30 Pacific on NFL Network.
I got a chance to watch some of his tape the other day, Brad. Phillip Rivers, he looks like vintage Phillip Rivers again. It's fun to watch.
71-yard drive so far. They still don't measure, and it's still considered third down and 1, but it's a short one. But it's a needed one right now for Cleveland. This time they get it, without a doubt. So the biggest third down of the game is third down in a matter of maybe a foot, and Willis McGahee got a full yard or so. First and goal.
And obviously this is where Cleveland needs to finish.
And they're bringing in an extra lineman, Rashard Butler, and they also got Marquise Gray in there. So this is the big package for the Browns.
Marquise Gray is a former quarterback at University of Minnesota that has also done some Wildcat stuff for them, in addition to playing fullback and H-back.
Right now he's playing fullback with McGahee to tail. First and goal, Browns. Play action bootleg, and Whedon's got to throw this one away.
Whoa,
Wait a minute. Flags down as he wasn't throwing. He was trying to get it to Jordan Cameron, and he got mugged in the corner of the end zone.
And defensive backs tend to panic when they can't find the football. And I think this is Denarius Searcy not having any idea what's going on, panicking. So here's Cameron in the red zone. Searcy's following him. He's got really good coverage at this point. You don't need to grab him and pull him like that.
And Jordan Cameron was out of bounds before Searcy pulls him down.
Now, obviously, Cameron was aggressive himself, but that was just way over the line, I believe, by Searcy.
Here's a call.
Illegal contact, defense. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
He can't get much closer to the goal line with a half a distance walked off.
I'm not so sure Cleveland needs to get real fancy here.
Yeah. They've got 6 first downs on this drive. And they only need about 2 feet for a touchdown to tie the game. And again, we had motion. I'm not sure who this one's on.
I thought it was on Cameron. I thought it was on Jordan Cameron.
So Doug Marrone talking to the officials. They're going to have to clear this one up for us because I don't think we can.
The previous play is not reviewable. The coach threw his flag. By rule, we are going to charge Buffalo a timeout. Timeout, Buffalo.
Well, I saw Cameron twitch. I don't blame Doug Marrone. Now, a head coach should know the rules, but the bottom line is if you look, watch Cameron over here. His hands down, and there's the twitch.
He threw the flag before that play, and going back to the previous plays when apparently Doug threw the flag, the challenge flag, so he loses a timeout. Meanwhile, we're right back to the 1-yard line, 1st and goal. Kind of a crazy sequence there. As you said, let's see if the Browns get fancy again. I doubt it. McGahee, nothing fancy about that. But he's not in. Got about half of what he needed.
And that's fine. I mean, that was first down, right?
Yep.
Clock is running. E.J. Manuel and those guys are on the bench. You knew it was going to be a close, hard-hitting defensive game that should get in the 4th quarter. If you're Cleveland, just secure the touchdown.
Good-looking drive so far.
Yep.
This is a 13th play. McGahee.
Oh, Alonso
comes flying in, and there's a loss on the play.
That remind you of anybody by the name of Palomalu?
Wow. He just went airborne.
Oh, man.
So now it's 3rd and goal, and the Browns might have to get a little fancier here.
Yeah, he's all the way back here. Watch him time it and go over the top. And then inside it was Stout also. There he is over the top. Aaron Williams involved, big play here.
Almost 2 yards to go now on 3rd and goal. McGahee, and he's in.
There it is.
Touchdown, Cleveland. Boy, they had to work at it. And McGahee did a lot of the work himself. Willis takes a leap into the pound, and we're an extra point away from a tie game. Browns were 4 for 4 on 3rd downs in that drive, and that helped the cause.
It's an old school power play. They pulled the backside guard, John Greco, and McGahee did the rest.
Cundiff in for the point after. Up and good. Fans have something to cheer about now. As Mike called him earlier, the wily old veteran caps off a 74-yard, 14-play drive from a yard out. Tie game in Cleveland. Thursday Night Football is brought to you by KFC. KFC plus football equals couch gating. And by the all-new 2014 Lexus IS, introducing a car designed with one purpose, to stand apart. You think this isn't a game of inches? How about a game of almost 1 inch? That was a fourth down play for the Ravens that came up short. That led to a win, and now the Cleveland Browns with a 1-yard plunge by Willis McGahee. And first-year coach says, yep, there we go. Good looking drive. 14 plays, 74 yards. And there's a guy that scored a lot of touchdowns in his stay here in Cleveland. And would have had a lot more had he not retired so early. Jim Brown being honored here at halftime tonight. Out of the back of the end zone. Don't forget, with NFL Game Rewind, you can get access to coaches' film and full game replays from the first 4 weeks of the season on demand and in HD. Learn more about it at NFL.com/Game Rewind.
You know, Brad, on that last Cleveland drive, one of the worst third down teams in the NFL went 4 for 4 on third down conversions, extending the drive.
And the Browns thus with 10 unanswered second quarter points. Let's see if Buffalo can answer that. Fred Jackson 3 or 4 before Reuben brings him down. They didn't have to go very far the first time after a Jim Leonhard punt return and then a pass interference call. So 2 plays, 32 yards, and Jackson for the touchdown, and then got a field goal on their second drive, but only 43 yards and a couple of punts since. Second down and 6. Jackson, couple more, but that's about it. Robertson and Mingo combine on the hit.
You know, when you're a defensive back, you've got to be physical with wide receivers, and that time TJ Ward, the safety, saw the crackback block, defeated TJ Graham, and made the tackle. Pretty good play.
Third down and 3 coming up. Judzinski asking for some help from the Browns fans and gets it. Blitz coming on Manuel. In trouble. Jump pass. Dumped in the turf. Nice job by the Cleveland defense.
I think maybe the most underappreciated free agent signing of the year was defensive tackle Dez Bryant. Watch him beat Colin Brown to the inside. Played for the Oakland Raiders. Kind of toiled in obscurity. He's a graduate of Harvard, believe it or not, his path to the NFL. And I think one of the better interior rushers in the entire NFL.
John Powell backs up Travis Benjamin to the 21-yard line. Had a 57-yarder earlier. Travis Benjamin weaving through traffic. Got the corner on the far side. Got the punter to beat again. This time Powell doesn't get him. Maybe nobody else will either. Travis Benjamin, touchdown. .79 yards, and the Browns are in front. You can't set it up any better than that. He set up his blockers, then he set up the Bills trying to bring him down, and the speed and the moves of Travis Benjamin. Might be looking at the special teams player of the week right here, and we're not even to halftime.
They've got to find more ways to get him touches, because you can see in that both punt returns, he's so explosive.
Cundiff in for the point after. .220 remaining first half. His eyes are getting big when he sees that punter, and he said, not this time. 79 yards later, he's in the crowd as well. A big play waiting to happen. That's what Travis Benjamin is. And we've seen 2 of those already tonight. 79-yard punt return for the touchdown has given the Browns 17 straight points and a 7-point lead. Marcus Easley waiting on Cundiff's kick. Easley, 5 yards deep, will not bring it out. Mike, you used to shag punts, didn't you?
Yeah, I could catch him, but I couldn't return him. Look at Joe Hayden right here. Potential all-pro corner. Got his hands on Easley and smart enough not to push him in the back. Got out of the way. But most of this is the God-given ability of Travis Benjamin. The explosion, the quickness, the innate feel for the run game. That's pretty special.
Now it's a little more pressure on E.J. Manuel and Buffalo. They had a 10-point lead. It's evaporated in a hurry. And they've got first down with 1 timeout remaining. 2:20 left in the half. Fred Jackson, only a couple. Des Bryant on the stop.
Yeah, that's that zone read with E.J. Manuel. He was looking at Kiki Mingo there, deciding whether or not to give her or pull it out and run it himself.
That's going to take it down to the 2-minute warning. Cleveland Browns trail by 10. Now they lead by 7.
Getting ready for the Lexus halftime show, the first half analysis, and the Jim Brown ceremony that, Brad, this crowd is amped for.
Yes, they are, Rich. See you guys in 2 minutes. 2nd down and 8. Buffalo now trailing by a touchdown. E.J. Manuel in trouble, throws a screen pass. Fred Jackson's got blockers in front. He's got a first down before he's run out of bounds. And E.J. did a good job of getting rid of that just before he was hit.
Yeah, they set that up pretty well. Good job by the young quarterback.
And Buffalo again, just 1 timeout remaining. Got a flag down. Alex was telling us during the break, Stevie Johnson has not been in the lineup for Buffalo in quite some time.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 22 on the offense. Since the first down was made on the play, after the 15-yard penalty, it will be 1st and 10.
So Fred Jackson got a first down, but then an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty says that's on me, and they back it up. And it negates the nice gain out across the 30-yard line.
Well,
I didn't see what happened.
Yeah, he got tackled on their sideline. He flipped the ball to Phil Taylor. I didn't think he was taunting him or anything.
Neither. Oh, well. They back it up to the 16-yard line. Again, Stevie Johnson not out there. They've been working on his back, Alex tells us, on the sideline. He's a big part of what they do with their passing game. Here's a draw play. And N'Keal Jackson, usually the guy that's leading the way as far as the leading tackler for Cleveland, makes the stop, and there goes Stevie Johnson to the locker room a little bit early.
Yeah, he had a hamstring he was trying to fight through a week ago. Only had 1 catch. They targeted him 6 times. It didn't look like he had a real good push last week, and now it's a shame to see the back is injured also.
Scoring tonight was Buffalo's first quarter. It's been Cleveland's second quarter. And now it's Jackson, and he's got a first down run, and I'm sure he's going to hand the ball to the official or just leave it on the ground. Picked up 10. He's going to leave it right there.
Yeah, I'm not sure I understood, unless we missed something, unless he said something. You know, obviously if a referee hears him say something while he flips it, we're not privy to that. But I didn't see much there.
At least they've got it back to where he gained the yardage the first time around the 30-yard line. Now Manuel with the quick throw outside. Robert Woods run out of bounds by Chris Owens after a pickup of 7. Things are getting a little chippy right now.
Good. Be a good second half.
Good.
Yeah. Right? Let's get physical. Let's get tough. I like it. Get a little chippy. These are 2 very similar teams, man. You know, we talked about that all week, Brad. Both defenses kind of knock your jock off. They're conservative offensively.
Manuel on 2nd and 3. This time throws it in the turf, intended for Chris Hogan.
Yeah, I thought he had Robert Woods, and he had plenty of time to get rid of the football. I thought that was a little bit too conservative. And again, his feet weren't set, and that's the thing with him. When his feet aren't set correctly, the ball comes out funny.
Remember, on an incorrect challenge, they used one of their timeouts that they'd love to have right now.
Right.
Only 33 seconds, and 3rd down and 3.
The last thing you want to do is punt it again, right?
Right.
And that's Cleveland's best offensive play.
Either that or don't let Travis Benjamin touch it.
Exactly.
Jackson hit in the backfield, goes down for a loss. Phil Taylor made first contact, a big nose tackle out of Baylor.
Yeah, it's an interesting read because it's the zone read, and this time the quarterback doesn't understand that you're going to get an outside slant from the tackle. And there he comes. He gives the football. Big hit.
And the Browns take their last time out to force what we were talking about. Another punt.
Look at that one. That's a pretty good number right there.
Second most punt return yards in Browns history. Eric Metcalf back in the early 90s had 150 plus. But we still got a long way to go in this one. And if I'm Sean Powell, I kick this thing so far out of bounds.
Note to self.
Note to self.
Really high or really far out of bounds.
And penalty marking.
False start, number 52. Kicking team, 5-yard penalty, still put down.
Don't see a lot of false starts on a punt. Arthur Moats.
Big smile from Brandon Weeden. Good job by him stabilizing the boat. You know, he comes in and quarterback gets hurt. You're down 10-0, and they just didn't panic. I really like that. And then the electricity provided by this guy, Travis Benjamin, back there.
Florida State punter set to kick it away from a Miami receiver. They got close. Here's Travis Benjamin from the 12-yard line. And he's only going to get out to the 24.
And Tank Carter almost blocked that thing.
But that's going to give him the most punt return yards ever by a Cleveland Brown in a single game with that return. 17 seconds remaining for Brandon Weeden. Hey, next week we're going to be in the Windy City. Eli Manning and the Giants looking to turn their season around a little bit against Jay Cutler and the Bears. The Giants and the Bears, Thursday Night Football next Thursday, 8 Eastern, live on NFL Network. It'll be fun.
I kind of circled that one back in August. And obviously the Giants disappointing, but the Bears are playing well.
Right now the Giants have to circle the wagons is what they have to do.
Yeah, they need to win with Philly this week.
A quick knee. The greatest Brown ever will be out here at halftime. He'll be part of the Lexus halftime show, along with Rich and the guys. First half analysis. And number 32. Number 80's been pretty special in the first half for Cleveland. They lead by 7 at halftime.
I'm Drew Carey. Welcome to my city.
But I know you're gonna like it in my city.
It's the Buffalo Bills and the Cleveland Browns. Manuel runs right in to Reuben. It's a great return down to the 31-yard line. And he's in. There it is. Touchdown. Travis Benjamin, touchdown.
Cleveland rocks.
They're rocking right now as we get set for the third quarter. Up 17-10 as we take a look at the Volkswagen first half game summary. Don't need a lot of offense, partner, when you got Travis Benjamin shagging punts right now. 17 straight points for Cleveland.
Yeah, and I think we set it up the right way. We knew it was going to be a tight, low-scoring game. Both defenses would play extremely well, and the wild card has been Travis Benjamin. I mean, how'd you like to be Mike Pettin in that Buffalo defense? You've given up 130 total yards and somehow 17 points.
Yeah, well, you know, good start for Buffalo tonight, but now they're going to have to regroup here and try to make up some ground as we start the third quarter. Trailing by a touchdown thanks to that guy, Travis Benjamin, with a 57-yard punt return that set up points and a 79-yarder that gave them the 17-10 lead they enjoy right now. But the Bills will get the ball first to start their third quarter. Marcus Easley waiting on Billy Cundiff's kick. Somebody's going to be 3-2, and when you're 3-2, your chances for the playoffs at the end of the year are greatly enhanced. When you're 2-3, not so much. So we've got 2 quarters to find out who goes over the 500 mark. And from First Energy Stadium, third quarter underway. And again, not returnable. Travis Benjamin, he's been the story of the night. This was his first punt return, and Sean Powell somehow stayed home, the punter, to get him over on the sideline and get him at least out of bounds. Second time, not so much.
Both times returns are set up. He does a great job using the blocks, but more than anything, it's just ability. Great job, explosive kid.
C.J. Spiller, normally pretty explosive. Tonight, not so much, maybe with the bad ankle. And Ataba Rubin made the stop after C.J. got a yard or two. Again, Buffalo trying to create a little bit of tempo. You can't do that if you can't pick up first downs.
Exactly right, Brad. We haven't seen much of Scott Chandler. I'd expect this young quarterback to go looking for him pretty soon.
Quick throw, nice throw, complete.
Precise route runners I've seen come in college football. He gets Hayden Turned, who's one of the better corners in this league. Remember, you're talking about a rookie second-round player who set up a veteran corner, came back to the football, and good run after the catch.
Well, the Bills already out to the 46-yard line. They go and hurry up. And a cutback run by C.J. Spiller. C.J. Spiller, open field. 30. He's gone. C.J. Spiller, bad ankle and all. Touchdown, Buffalo. Wow. C.J. Spiller at less than 100%, still faster than a lot of guys in the NFL, and just showed it.
Yeah, and on this run, the backside was critical because you called it right. Watch what happens over here with Mingo and Chandler, the tight end. He's going to cut it all the way back, and because Chandler stays on the block, and the missed tackle by the safety, T.J. Ward, Spiller takes it the distance.
Longest run allowed by Cleveland this year. And it's C.J. Spiller taking the football with him to the sideline. Dan Carpenter's extra point will tie things up. A lot of guys love him on their fantasy football teams as he checks himself out heading to the end zone. 17 apiece. Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Volkswagen. That's the power of German engineering. And by Burger King, where taste is king. Brad Nessler, Mike Mayock, Alex Flanagan with you. 17-17 now on a C.J. Spiller 54-yard touchdown run to open the third quarter.
We got a game, Mr. Nessler.
We do indeed. Dan Carpenter is set to kick. Greg Little waits on the other end. And Greg might take a shot at this one. Nope, thought better of it. We'll take a knee. Let's check in with Alex.
So, Brad, I caught up with head coach Rob Chudzinski at the halftime. He told me that quarterback Brian Hoyer is out for the rest of this game, that he needs an MRI to confirm some things. They're fearful that he might have torn the ligaments in his right knee, which is just awful news for poor Brian. Of course, not confirmed yet. They need some more tests to be able to confirm that. He did tell me that Brandon Weeden came in. He settled in quickly. He needs him to be efficient and don't make any mistakes in the second half.
All right, Alex, thanks. Wherever Brian might be watching, we wish you the best.
Yeah, I echo that.
Wow. Here's Weeden from the 20. On the give, and McGahee is going to go down for a loss of about 3. Mario Williams came flying in there. Kyle Williams. Williams and Williams, the law firm, make the stop.
And you know, Alex was right about Weeden and what he needs to do, and he came in. I thought he kind of steadied the ship.
Yep.
You get in the second half now and continue with what you're doing. Don't try to get beyond yourself. Make the plays you should, but don't put the ball up for grabs. Don't put it on the ground.
Off play action. Wants to throw. Unsettled in the pocket, trying to go to his safety valve, and he did. Garnage. And he at least got a couple out of the deal.
This defense is so well disciplined. Play action, did a great job in coverage. Watch when he comes off the play action. And right about now, there is nothing. Look at this. Boom, boom, boom. That's beautiful. Great job by the Buffalo secondary. He's going to check it down late. And Brad, remember, last week they had 3 of their 4 starters out of the secondary.
Right.
This week, it really is the same thing because McKelvin's not getting a whole lot of snaps.
They did. Get it back to the line of scrimmage at least with that desperation pass to his tight end. Now pump fake, and tell you who's not taking the pump fake. Mario Williams didn't let him even come up for air. 3rd sack of the night of the Cleveland quarterback.
And I think he got him with an interior X stunt. That means that he's coming this way and they come around that way, just exchanging responsibilities. Good job by Kyle Williams. I don't know why John Greco, the left guard, went all the way out to help with the left tackle. Wow.
Leotis McKelvin back as the punt return man for the Bills.
Now this guy's explosive also. Remember, coming off injury, but one of the best punt returners in the league.
Lanning's punt is returnable from the 37-yard line.
Mingo.
Arkevius Mingo, the #1 draft choice on the punt coverage, a 9-yard return. So the Browns couldn't muster anything offensively. Buffalo, that scored the last touchdown, gets it back on offense when we come back.
On the touchdown run by C.J. Spiller, the key is right here. Great job by Chandler on Mingo. Mingo loses outside contain. Spiller takes it the rest of the way. Now Doug Marrone, an old offensive lineman, is telling Chandler, look, keep your hands inside so they don't call a hold. Great job. Now on the other side, Brian Baker's going, wait a minute, man, you got outside. You got to have outside leverage because our safety was filling inside. Rookie mistake.
Jackson, short gain inside. Mingo in on the tackle again.
You know, I watched a bunch of Mingo tape, and I'm excited by this kid. 6th pick in the draft, you know, and all the stuff at LSU. You watch his movement skills, they're awesome. And when he lets it go, it's special. When he hesitates, like a lot of young players in this league, it's not as good. And he's just got to get more confident in because his ability is just awesome.
Off the charts from the 48, 2nd and 8. Manuel wide open. Robert Woods, who's been a big part of the offense. You picked him as one of the difference makers tonight. He's making a difference. Another 13-yard gain.
He's one of the craftier young wide receivers to come into this league in quite a while. When we showed earlier, he beat Joe Hayden in press coverage. That time he sat down in a zone. It takes a lot of years for most young wide receivers to figure it out while they're on the move. This kid's already got it.
First down for Buffalo at the 40-yard line. Jackson, tough 4 on the inside. C.J. Ward made the stop.
So line's doing a nice job. And Brad, this is kind of what they do to you. They're like a boa constrictor. They just keep running, keep running. They get you tired. They get, you know, they beat you up. They beat you up. 55 runs a week ago against Baltimore, and they stay the course. I think Pat Morris, their offensive line coach, has done a heck of a job with this group.
Plus, they kept it about 37 minutes last week. They're very close to it. 2nd and 5. Manuel throws. That one's incomplete. Intended for Woods again, and Buster Screen broke it up.
Now, he's an interesting guy. He comes out of tiny Chattanooga College. And, Brad, I remember watching his tape, and I got excited about his feet and his movement skills. And he had this one bad tape against Auburn. And remember, if you come from a small school, your margin of error is very slight. He got one shot against a big school and got burnt for 3 or 4 touchdowns. A lot of people took him right off the board. And I think 3 years later, he's showing that he can really be a competitive nickel in this league.
3rd down and 5. Bills have to get to the 30. Here comes a blitz from the secondary. And Tashard Choice is going to run wide and get the first down. Mingo knocked him out of bounds, but Tashard Choice, in his 6th year out of Georgia Tech, picks up the first down.
Yeah, and I wonder if he checked at this because there was an overload blitz to Manuel's right, and they ran away from it. If they didn't check to it, that's fine. But watch everybody coming over here. Overload, anticipating pass. They run away from it. They get a soft edge. Choice gets the first.
So one ACC guy goes out, Tashard Choice, and C.J. Spiller out of Clemson comes in. 1st and 10 for the Bills. Spiller into the middle of the pile for 3.
Boa constrictor, just keeping tightening. Keep coming after you, and sooner or later, play action over the top.
C.J. last year had a great season. Over 1,200 yards on the ground, caught 43 passes. Cleveland's done nothing on the ground, and the Bills have in this 3rd quarter. 7th play of the Buffalo drive. On 2nd and 7, Manuel runs out of trouble. Got a block. Great open field tackle, though, by Screen, the guy you were just talking about, Mike.
That's 5'9", 185 against 6'4", 240. I think the quickness edge went to Screen, though. Comes a blitz again. Excuse me, it's only 4-man. And look at Screen from the inside out. Little cut tackle. Nice job.
Well, if he doesn't get that, Manuel might have the first down on the ground. Instead, it's 3rd down and long.
See if Ray Horton heats them up here. They're showing 6 guys up. See how many come. 7 guys up. See the right guard, Urbick, pointing it out.
Manuel's going to have to hurry to get this one off. Just did get it off, and now he's running for his life. Got a block. Oh, and he's got a first down.
He's down.
And he got hit at the end of the play by Deshaun Gibson, I think, and he's holding his knee.
No. Gosh.
And here's another rookie that's going to warm up. Jeff Toole with E.J. Manuel down. What we don't need is 2 starting quarterbacks to go out of this football game.
Boy, I hate this. The young guys work so hard. Fred Jackson did a great job in the open field getting him to the sideline in the first down.
That's where you hope it's just a bruised knee or something. Here comes the hit at the end of the play, and it was a shoulder. It was a clean tackle. E.J. Manuel made it down the sideline and to the bench on his own power, but they were working on the right knee after that scramble that picked up a first down at the 13-yard line. So another rookie, Jeff Toole, out of Washington State in the lineup. Handoff to Shard Choice, and he gets it inside the 10.
An undrafted rookie out of Washington State, Jeff Toole, played in Mike Price's offense out there. Had some injuries himself throughout his career, if I remember correctly. A collarbone, a knee. I think he only had 7 or 8 starts last year as a senior. I was at training camp this summer, and you know they had several quarterbacks in camp, and you could tell the coaches gravitating towards this Toole kid. I kept hearing the comment from players and coaches, there's just something about him we like.
Undrafted free agent in the spotlight on Thursday Night Football. He probably wasn't expecting this. Shard Choice off the right side. Rubin brings him down after a short gain. So we're going to have a 3rd down situation. The Bills can get a first down at the 3. E.J. Manuel trying to walk it off on the sideline.
Be kind of interesting to see how aggressive they are with Toole in the game on 3rd down in the red zone. Everything's compressed. Everything happens more quickly. Good to see him moving, but Toole's got to be a guy here that ball security's got to be first and foremost. Will they run draw? Will they run zone read? Little screen pass, something where he doesn't have to make a difficult read in the end zone.
Chandler, his tight end, is his biggest target. 3 wideouts on 3rd down and 5. Toole lofts it. Chandler trying to one-hand it. Broken up by T.J. Ward.
You know, I thought Chandler's right arm was kind of interesting. He was kind of warding off the defensive back with his right arm.
There's a flag down in the end zone. So it might have been more than trying to ward him off. He might have not been able to raise the right arm. Here's the call.
Pass interference, number 43 defense. Penalty occurred in the end zone. By rule, the ball will be placed at 1-yard line. Automatic first down.
Here he is right here, working man-to-man with T.J. Ward. Now, you look at, they're locked up with their arms, and there's the hold clearly by 43 T.J. Ward. That's a good call. He can only go up for it. What I like what Chandler did there, Brad, he made it obvious that he was going up with one hand.
Extra lineman, 2 tight ends, walk in, Fred Jackson, touchdown. Wow. So 14 straight points by the Bills. They overloaded that left side with some extra beef, and it was easy for Fred Jackson's second 1-yard touchdown.
Telling you, it's the boa constrictor at work, pal. Just keep tightening the noose.
Fred Jackson, 50 yards and a couple of touchdowns so far tonight. Second time a pass interference call has set up number 22 from a yard out.
And that 3rd down run by E.J. Manuel got them a first down and extended the drive.
Dan Carpenter in for the point after. Buffalo had a taunting penalty maybe after the touchdown. That'll be assessed on the kick. Right now it's Carpenter for the point after to try to make it 24-17, and it's blocked. Great job off the corner by Joe Hayden.
I think he was offsides. There's a flag down. I thought he jumped the gun. Great effort, though. Here he is up top.
Offside.
See?
Number 22.
You could have blocked that one. Now.
Well, I don't know about that, but
After this is a goal, repeat try.
Carpenter sort of looked at him afterwards and smiled as if to say, well, no wonder you got to me, Joe.
You think, really, Joe?
You had a 3-step head start.
Hey, by the way, Joe, we're going to do it again, okay?
So a penalty after the touchdown, a penalty on the extra points.
I'm happy Manuel's moving around like that. He's such a quality kid. I got to know him a little bit in the draft process, spend some time with him, go to his pro day, spend some time with him there, and I was so highly impressed with the character of the kid.
The extra point is good. So E.J. Manuel sold out for his team to get a first down on a scramble. The penalty got him close, and Fred Jackson from a yard waltzed in 24-17. 14 unanswered points scored by Buffalo, and they've regained the lead here in Cleveland, 24-17, with 6:32 remaining in the third quarter. Brad Nessler with Mike Mayock, Alex Flanagan, our NFL Network crew here at First Energy Stadium. Good ball game. Cleveland now, they've got to answer the call. E.J. Manuel trying to work that right knee over there on the stationary bike on the sideline. Hopefully he's going to be able to come back in. And somebody better get up to this football. It's live. Little will head to the sideline and go out at the 25-yard line. It's nice to have a mobile quarterback in the National Football League. The only problem is you got to learn to get down as fast as possible. That was Brian Hoyer of the Browns, injured in the first quarter. They're going to have an MRI on that leg. And then E.J. Manuel on that last drive on the sideline, and he got hit right on the right knee. And that's a good sign, I think. I agree. Meanwhile, Brandon Weeden under the gun a little bit now as the Browns are behind for the first time again in this half. And that was a jump by Kyle Williams, I think, unless he was drawn offside. Defense, neutral zone infraction, number 95. 5-yard penalty remains. First down. Two-time Pro Bowler gives a free 5 to the Browns. Willis McGahee flanking Brandon Weeden in the shotgun, and now Barnage, the other tight end, there with him on 1st and 5. Going to go long, airing it out, man's out there, and he's got him. Greg Little all the way to the 22-yard line.
Really nice job on Mario Williams. They double team him in a 4-man rush, give him plenty of time. Here's Mario Williams. Watch him get a couple bodies on him there. Tailback McGahee, the right tackle, one-on-one, no free safety in the middle of the field. Beautiful throw. Greg Little beats Aaron Williams, and a great throw by Weeden.
That shows you when he's got time, he can spin it pretty well. All the way to the 22-yard line. He'll throw on first down here. Fade to the corner. Incomplete, intended for Little again. So right back to number 18. And now Little, after running long and running to the end zone, says, I need a breather.
A flag down.
Personal foul. Grabbing the face mask. Number 77, offense. 15-yard penalty. Wow. Remains first down.
Well, that's a big one on John Greco, the left guard.
Greco here. See the nose tackle in that gap between the two of them. The left hand up around Marcel Darius's face. Easy call. And Brad, this game, it's been a game of runs. And Cleveland, as you said, has got to answer here. And those are the kind of things that really kill a drive right there.
They picked up a 47-yard chunk, and now they go back the other way out to the 37. Where it's 1st and 25. Benjamin is the wide receiver to the bottom of your screen. Whedon goes the other way to the corner and caught. Touchdown, Josh Gordon. Whedon threw 2 balls on that drive that he put right where he had to put it for only his receiver to catch, and Gordon did. 37-yard touchdown.
And I love the read. It was 1-on-1, no safety help. Aaron Williams against Gordon, and Gordon and Whedon win. Press man, good position here by Williams. Sees the ball late. Great concentration by Gordon.
Gordon tips it to himself. Billy Cundiff in for the point after. Tie game again. 5:35 remaining third quarter. Brandon Whedon first to Greg Little for 47. Then 37 more to Josh Gordon. 24-24. Thursday Night Football is delivered by Papa John's, official pizza sponsor of the NFL. We've had 2 ties. We've had 2 lead changes. Josh Gordon has tied it for us for that second time on a 37-yard touchdown grab.
Look at that number.
That's pretty impressive.
It just shows you what a height, weight, speed specimen he really is. 6'3", 225, runs 4'4", jumps 40 inches. I mean, he's special athletically.
Marcus Easley just watches this one go, hit the goalpost, the crossbar. Yeah. Bounces back out to the 5. Don't forget, we've got a special edition of Thursday Night Football coming up on Sunday night. Phillip Rivers looking great right now. Leads the Chargers into the black hole to take out Terrell Pryor. The Raiders, Chargers and Raiders. Sunday night is at 11:30 Eastern, 8:30 Pacific time, live on NFL Network.
And that's Ian Eagle and Dan Fouts, I believe.
It is.
Which are a real good listen, folks.
Fauci getting to do his old team.
Yep.
C.J. Spiller only about a yard on that one.
That was the greatest show on turf before the greatest show on turf.
That's right.
Dan Fouts,
Kellen Winslow, Charlie Joyner.
Yeah. How much fun were those days?
They were a blast. Eric Coryell. And so many guys, Norv Turner, one of them, disciples of all of that.
Exactly.
It's all sort of tied together.
Yep.
Play fake by Manuel, loads, and delivers a one-hopper intended for Robert Woods, and he was looking for a holding call. Beg your pardon, it was Toole, not Manuel.
Toole does not have the arm strength of E.J. Manuel. Hence, one of them's a first-round pick.
Right.
One of them's a free agent. It's quite a spotlight for this young man from Washington State. Thursday Night Football.
The heat's going to be on him from not just the lights in the stadium right now. 3rd down and 8. And here they come. Toole sidesteps a rush, but incomplete, intended for Chandler, and Chandler was open. Couldn't one-hand that one, and the Bills will have to punt.
They brought both linebackers and a safety. I thought Toole did a pretty good job here, hanging in the pocket and making a throw as he rolled to his right.
Don't kick it to him. Actually, I wouldn't mind seeing him handle another one. I was just thinking for Sean Powell.
Yeah, I'm with you. You can't drive it low. That's the one thing you can't do.
This one's a knuckleball that's going to bounce out of bounds around the 38-yard line.
He still affected the play. That's Travis Benjamin affecting the game without even touching it.
Absolutely. 4:52 remaining in the third quarter on a night that the greatest Brown ever, number 32, Jim Brown, was honored. Key to the city from the mayor, and his number goes up here in the stadium. Maybe the best, not just running back, maybe the best player ever. We'll be right back. Oh, we're staying here, and Jim's watching the rain come down. Blitz on the inside. Boy, McGahee had a little trouble with the handle, and he found the handle and picked up a couple of yards. Looked like Willis almost dropped that.
Right. You're right, partner. Bounced up, bounced around. That'll mess the timing up a little bit, right? Nigel Bradham makes the tackle.
Still got 3 yards out of it to the 42.
Mark 50.
Play action for Whedon. Down the sideline, too far in front of Devon Bess. This was what Mike was talking about a minute ago. First 10 went to Buffalo. Next 17 by the Browns. Bills scored the next 14. One on a long touchdown run by C.J. Spiller. And the Browns scored the last one on a beautiful pass play from Whedon to Josh Gordon. 2 first-year head coaches in a tie game and in a battle here in Cleveland tonight.
Everybody but the center moved. Alex Mack. Wait a minute. I thought it was on 2.
False start. Number 73 offense. 10-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
That one they're going to call on Joe Thomas, who has been 6-time Pro Bowler, has never missed a snap. This guy plays every down, every game, every week.
Same with Alex Mack, right? The 2 first-round picks here since the day they were drafted in Cleveland have started every game and played every snap. It's amazing.
3rd down and long coming up. Not going to be made any easier for Whedon with the rain coming down as it is.
Coming down pretty hard all of a sudden.
3rd and 12. Brandon Whedon pressure from behind. He's hit. The ball is out. Is picked up by Joe Thomas on a one hopper. Jerry Hughes is the guy that came flying around the backside and got to Whedon's arm.
Hughes, the former first-round pick, used a little hesitation move on Joe Thomas. Came from behind, strips it. Clearly a fumble. Alertly picked up by Joe Thomas. Ball's not coming forward.
So Spencer Lanning's got a kick. And Jimmy Leonard is back as the punt returner this time again for Buffalo. High kick and deep. Leonard watches it go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. .325 remaining in the quarter. E.J. Manuel is heading to the locker room and limping on that right knee. So we might have MRIs on both quarterbacks before the next couple of days are done.
And if you're going to make an error, obviously let's make it on the side of safety with these young quarterbacks.
And again, the rookie out of Washington State that you may not have heard of. In fact, last year at Washington State, he didn't even start every game. Did start 7 games for the Cougars. But he's on the hot seat right here.
He's changing it.
And he's trying to be heard and trying to tell C.J. Spiller the call. The crowd's not making it easy. C.J. will get the carry. And he's going down for no gain, maybe a loss. T.J. Ward on C.J. Spiller. Let's check in with Alex.
Hey, Brad, well, the injury is piling up here. Desmond Bryant was taken to the hospital, the Browns defensive end, shortly a little while ago. He had shortness of breath, and I'm told that it was a precautionary measure to take him to the hospital to get tested out. But the right defensive end for the Cleveland Browns taken away from this stadium in an ambulance this evening, guys.
We've had too much of it tonight. Here's a flea flicker. Toole loads and goes deep down the middle into double coverage, and it's almost picked off by Tashawn Gibson.
Hey, that's a great job by Robert Woods breaking it up, and that ball shouldn't have been thrown, and they're trying to create something here for Toole. Give him an easy throw, but great coverage on the back end. It's double coverage, and watch Woods go get this thing, because Gibson looks like he's going to pick it. At that point, Woods has to act like a defensive back and try to strip that thing away. Rip down on his arm. Really nice job by Woods, and excellent coverage and discipline by the Browns secondary.
They're going to hear it from the pound right here. 3rd down and 10. Toole. Hit. Down he goes, back at the 2-yard line. The rookie, Armani Bryant with a sack.
Wow. Barkevious Mingo got inside of Cordy Glenn, which forced the quarterback off his spot. Watch what happens with Mingo here. He's going to force Toole off his spot, and then Armani Bryant's going to clean up. Here comes the movement up, and Armani Bryant, who's another rookie, 7th-round pick from East Central.
He probably wouldn't even have been in there if Dead Bryant would have been taken to the hospital, right?
Exactly right. And a big play by another young rookie.
Not quite enough room for the punter here, but he does get it out of there. Benjamin runs up on the fly at the 39 and run out of bounds after about an 8-yard return. Great field position, though, for the Browns. Well, we're at the quarter pole, partner. What have you learned so far?
Well, we've got 5 undefeated teams, and 2 of them I think are surprises and fun to watch. The Chiefs with their coaching staff back intact. Rob Ryan doing a great job with that defense. Kansas City, of course. How about the NFC East? Combined 4-12. You know, you got to hang in there because you might win that division at 8-8. And finally, who would ever thought those quality teams would have a combined record of 6-9?
They've got some work to do, that's for sure. First down, great field position to start the drive for the Browns. Willis McGahee goes for about 4. Manny Lawson's draped all over him. McGahee's carried it 16 times tonight. And they've been all tough yards. In fact, 17 times with that carry for 41 and a touchdown.
They had 15 carries a week ago. A couple of weeks ago, just sitting on the couch.
That's right. Second down and 6. They fake it to him. They throw out. And a screen set up to the wide receiver, Josh Gordon, but he forgot to take the ball with him.
Makes a great catch on a tip in the end zone on a ball that was in the air for what seemed like days. And then on a simple little bubble screen, Mario Williams maybe gets a piece there, but doesn't look it all the way in.
Right through the pink gloves. Again, if you're seeing a lot of pink tonight, I'm sure all of you know that it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, as it is every October. NFL involved, as always. Pink penalty markers, pink first down line tonight. 3rd down and 6. That first down line is at the 22-yard line. They're going to play it conservatively, but it's going to work for him. Willis McGahee all the way down to the 13. Best run of the night by the 11-year veteran out of Miami.
I think the fans were getting ready to get all fired up and because it was a run play. But why? This is just a one-back power play. The left guard, Greco, comes around, gets a piece. McGahee reads it correctly, even though he's one of those downhill I-formation guys. He's doing a nice job out of the shotgun.
Less than a minute remaining in the 3rd quarter, and the Browns on the drive again. Trying to regain a touchdown lead. McGahee again. This time stopped for a yard loss. Arthur Moats, inside linebacker, made the stop.
Brad, you mentioned a moment ago about Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I know E.J. Manuel's not out there right now, but he made a point with us of talking about his mother, Jackie, was diagnosed with breast cancer back in August of 2012. And he talked about the night before the draft, how excited he was not to be drafted, but that his mom could take part of the festivities and enjoy it cancer-free.
And Jackie's doing great. We're glad, Mom.
Yep.
End of 3. Good football game brewing in Cleveland. A couple of lead changes, a couple of ties, which is where we are right now at 24 apiece. Set to start the 4th quarter on Thursday Night Football, and a dandy between the Browns and the Bills, 24-24. Second down and 10. Cleveland threatening at the Buffalo 12-yard line. Blitz coming on Whedon. He gives it off to McGahee. Willis McGahee driving down to what might be a first down. Boys had a couple of tough runs in this drive.
And again, it's the one-back power. You're going to see Sean Laval this time. He's going to pull. They'll double team over here. McGahee does the rest.
31 years young, Willis McGahee. And they're going to measure here to see if he got a first down.
So Sean Laval, the guard who's back after being inactive the first 4 weeks, had a big grin on his face down there on the field. Really helps their offensive line to have him back.
So McGahee just a little bit short of the first down. It'll be third down and what you saw, less than a foot. 66 tough yards on 20 carries for Willis McGahee. I got to think he's going to get it again.
And I just like they stay persistent with the run game. Both teams have tonight. Third down.
And inches. Whedon under center. He's going to do it himself, and he's got a first down. 6'3", 220-pound quarterback. Went straight ahead. Needed inches and got at least a yard.
Need to give him a little credit too.
Absolutely.
You know, after the mental knockout punch of getting hurt, your backup quarterback coming in and winning 2 games, to be able to step in tonight, stabilize this thing, and then play in the second half as well as he had. Not only are you not hurting your team, but you've made a couple big-time throws to get your team back in this game.
2 tight ends set on first and goal just outside the 1-yard line for Cleveland. McGahee hitting the hole and is stopped for no gain.
Pico Alonso is just one of the more instinctive inside linebackers I've seen. And for how young he is, it's pretty amazing.
Reminds me of the kid with Carolina.
Kuechly. Luke Kuechly. Here he is right here. He and Leonard standing shoulder to shoulder now. He's 5 yards deep. He sees what happens. He beats in behind the pulling guard Laval. Some people have instincts. I think Kuechly's a great example of a kid that's got great instincts and great ability. And Alonso's pretty darn good also.
Butler in as an extra lineman, 2 tight ends, second and goal. McGahee trying to take it wide, and that's not going to work. Manny Lawson played it beautifully.
He did a great job of taking on John Greco, who pulled out. Now, point of attack, you always talk about setting an edge. Watch here. And Lawson does a great job. Outside leverage, attacks with that inside shoulder to keep his outside arm and shoulder free. Not only does he set the edge, he makes the tackle. That's a heck of a play.
Mike, they were down there about 4 feet away from the end zone. Now they're at the 6-yard line.
And a key third down. Locate Jordan Cameron. He's right here. He's a mismatch.
Third down and goal. Whedon in the gun. He's looking that way. Throws. Jump ball. Incomplete. That's who they went to. Leodis McKelvin knew it was coming too.
McKelvin had a hamstring inactive last week against Baltimore. Watch him be physical here. This is a 6'4" tight end on a corner. A lot of pushing and shoving from both guys. Jump ball. Look at McKelvin get up there. That's a heck of a job by Leodis McKelvin.
So they were that close, and now they have to settle for a 24-yard field goal attempt. Cundiff has one tonight from 30. Trying to put the Browns back in front. And the kick is up and good. So we seesaw back and forth with 12.5 minutes remaining. And the Browns with their special teams and their kicker tonight lead by 3. Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Craftsman and by GMC. Vote for the Never Say Never moment of the week at NFL.com/GMC. The Browns had a first and goal just outside the 1-yard line, had to settle for a 24-yard field goal, but they do have the lead back. 27-24. The guy that just kicked the field goal set to kick away. A third lead change of the night. Line drive. Marcus Easley's going to take this one at the goal line on one hop. And again, and a fail to get to the 20-yard line with 12:25 remaining in the ballgame. There have been a lot of storylines tonight in this one. Brian Hoyer injured after a first down scramble. E.J. Manuel likewise on a first down scramble. C.J. Spiller back tonight even with ankle that's not 100% at a 54-yard touchdown run. And Josh Gordon on a long ball, a beauty from Brandon Whedon. Some of the big plays we've seen. You add that to Travis Benjamin, who's had more punt return yards tonight than any Brown in single game history. And that's where we are. And now it's Jeff Toole's time. Fred Jackson hit immediately, no gain.
You know, Brad, interesting challenge for offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett. Was with Coach Marone at Syracuse. Your quarterback, who's a rookie, is gone. Now you've got another rookie quarterback in, a free agent who's 0 for 3. You're in a tight ball game on the road, and you don't want to ask this kid to make plays, yet you got to go make plays. Fine line for an offensive coordinator.
Got to try to make one here on 2nd and 10. And it's incomplete again. Intended for Robert Woods. And now it's 3rd down and 10.
And it's just a case of a quarterback and a wideout not getting a lot of reps together. Woods sat it down, and Toole thought he was going to keep going.
And here comes the extra man, and that's the Cleveland Browns crowd. Third and 10, they back out of the blitz look. Toole throws, diving catch. Don't think it's going to be a first down to T.J. Graham, though. Wow, really close.
Really nice hands catch by Graham. Watch this. Spins out, brings it in, has full control. I don't care if it hits the ground there. The hand is underneath. Full control. It's okay that I believe that it hits the ground because the hand is underneath. He controls it the whole way, and there's the tag. Let's take a close look at this one.
They're going to bring the sticks out to make sure. Looked like it was about the length of the football, shy, but I'm going to make sure.
You're usually pretty good on these. I mean, for an old dude, your eyes are really good.
Thanks, partner. Just because I remember when Jim Brown played, you don't have to pick on me.
Hey, look at that length of a football. You're all over it.
So 4th down and less than 1.
Now, this punt game tonight for Buffalo, in addition to the 2 long punts, Brad, now they're trying to punt away from them. And there have been 2 short punts that have only netted them somewhere between 25 and 30 yards. So the impact of Travis Benjamin early is still happening late.
Third straight 3 and outs. So Sean Powell to punt again. And again, trying to kick it to the near sideline. Benjamin runs up, takes it at the 28. Nice coverage this time, though. Only got about 5 yards on the return. Great shot tonight. Great shots for our NFL film guys in Cleveland on a night for Jim Brown and his team in front. Jeff Toole on the sideline, unable to sustain the drive. I think he said wide open.
Yeah, I think he was talking about that 3rd down throw where he forced his wide receiver T.J. Graham to go to the ground.
So the Browns with the lead and the ball with 11:15 remaining. Brandon Whedon at quarterback with Brian Hoyer out to an injury. And Willis McGahee out to the 37.
Same play they've been running all night long with McGahee, and I think Whedon checked to the run play because they had 2 high safeties and a soft box. And John Greco, the left guard, who got a contract extension in the offseason, has been the guy they've used to pull 90% of the time.
Willis got 4 more. 2nd down and 6.
Hey, Mark Hard. Set. Ready? Move it up.
Here comes a blitz. They pick up Alonzo. Whedon picks up his receiver out to midfield. And it's Jordan Cameron.
Yeah, that was a key blitz pickup, partner. You said it exactly right. It's Gary Barnidge right here who's going to get on Alonso late. It almost thought he held him with that left. He's got the left arm right up around his neck. If they called that holding, I would have said, yep, no problem.
As it is, the Browns have moved into Buffalo territory. 3 catches now for Cameron on the night.
Number Obadiah hurt, so they've been using a combination of different guys at fullback.
Maybe 2 yards for McGahee. Kyle Williams on the tackle. Alex?
Well, it's kind of like the preseason for Willis McGahee. He hadn't played football in nearly a year before signing with the Browns, just before week 3, you guys. It's his 133rd game. Remember, he knew Chudzinski from college when he was at Miami there, so he brought him in here, and the Browns saying that he brings a swagger and a veteran leadership to this team that they really needed. It's been a good addition for them.
A lot of people don't remember he was actually a Buffalo Bill. First-round pick back in 03. Whedon. Wow, he's got time, but he's running out of it. And he did run out of it. Jerry Hughes. And he's got another Buffalo sack.
You know, I didn't see, it looked like they were looking for Gordon down here, and he just kind of stopped. Look, he's looking at Gordon, and Gordon's just jogging there. Good coverage, obviously, by Aaron Williams, but he was looking back at the one receiver, and I think Gordon felt like he was not in that route.
He comes out of the huddle to the near side on a 3rd down and 15. And Mario Williams and company in their track stance. Whedon on 3rd and long. And broken up. Intended for Greg Little. Devon Bessa, beg your pardon. And it was Searcy who made the play.
Yeah, this is a deep cross, and Searcy does a really nice job driving the route. And watch, he's going to go deep across, and the deep safety is going to pick him up and drive on it. Ball's thrown clearly behind him. He's got a shot if he puts it out in front of him. That's an inaccurate ball, and Searcy could have made the play.
Bess got his left hand on it, and that was it. Landing now the punt. Tim Leonard trying to clear everybody out of the way, and he's got to let it go himself, and with that, it goes inside the 10. Down around the 7-yard line. Good job by the Cleveland punter. Less than 9 minutes to play in regulation. Browns by 3. Mike, the Bills backed up inside their own 10 with 8:45 to play, and they're running out of wide receivers.
Yeah, Stevie Johnson already out of the game. TJ Graham, Alex tells us, is on his way to the locker room. That leaves Marcus Easley and Chris Hogan, 2 special teams players.
This is Hogan out for a 9-yard pickup.
You know, when I was at their camp this summer, this is a first-year player out of tiny Monmouth College, and they were all calling him 7-Eleven because he was open all night. And they had a lot of fun with the kid. I've been waiting 3 months to use that.
I liked it. And Fred Jackson gets the first down.
So you're looking at Robert Woods, a rookie wide receiver, as the veteran presence right now. Easley and Hogan. You've got Jeff Toole at quarterback. And you're Nathaniel Hackett, and you're going, man, how do I manufacture 82 more yards out of this?
Yep, trying to do it with smoke and mirrors right now. C.J. Spiller for a couple. And again, Toole trying to get them lined up. And getting the hurry up. Set. Spiller will stay in there. Chandler and Smith, both tight ends, in as well.
Lee Smith, a really good blocking tight end for Marshall.
2nd down and 8. Toole throws incomplete. Intended receiver was Woods again. And here comes a 3rd down and 8.
And that's a ball that has to be complete. But I can probably tell you the kid hasn't had a first-team snap in I don't know how long, maybe since Washington State. There's Joe Cullen, and really a good defensive line coach for the Cleveland Browns. Getting fired up.
Toole is only 2 out of 7. And here's a 3rd down and 8. Has time. Throws deep near sideline. Jump ball and incomplete, intended for Woods. And Joe Hayden broke it up.
Yeah, Hayden held A.J. Green to 7 catches for 51 yards a week ago with 15 targets. And now he's got the best receiver left on the field, Robert Woods. Blanket coverage, breaks it up.
The star of the night is back, awaiting Sean Powell's punt.
They didn't even block him.
Travis Benjamin from the 29. Going far side to try to find a corner. He did. But he goes out of bounds around the 43. Boy, he has been fun to watch tonight. Another 13-yard punt return by Travis Benjamin. Browns would just like to use 7 more minutes and have their 3rd win of the year. That's what we've got left. Coming up on Tuesday, Matt Millen was a smash-mouth linebacker and a 4-time Super Bowl champion. But running a team was a challenge a lot tougher to tackle. Matt Millen, A Football Life, Tuesday, 9 o'clock Eastern, only on NFL Network. And a heck of an analyst and a guy that every time he sees me has to hit me in the chest just to see if my heart's still working.
And they do a great job, NFL Films, on The Football Life. If you haven't seen the one on Steve Sabol,
oh my goodness,
you got to tune in. It was awesome.
It sure was. At the 43, McGahee. Whoa, made. Met in the hole by Marcel Darius.
You don't hear his name all the time.
10-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
But I think he and Phil Taylor, the 2 nose tackles in this game, have an ability to be special. Watch him spin out of this thing. Great vision. And then that's called a form tackle, partner. Look at this.
Former All-American out of Alabama, a #1 draft choice. Wow.
Now, he's listed at 331. Talked to some of the coaches. They said he's down about 10 or 15 pounds from a year ago. He looks great.
Whedon faked the screen one way and then came back the other way to Rainey, and Rainey's going down for a loss again. Manny Lawson, nice job staying with it.
Lawson's playing really well. The 2 guys that played on the same college team, Lawson and Mario Williams, having big games tonight. I really like the way Lawson, you know, when the center and the back go in the same direction, it screams screen. And Lawson did a great job seeing that.
Both guys played at North Carolina State. Going to be a North Carolina State guy in the spotlight this week as quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. After what went down today, the Josh Freeman saga came to a close.
Mike Lennon is now officially the quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
2nd down and a whole bunch. And they'll keep it on the ground to Rainey. Trying to get wide. Might have got a hand to the face mask of the first guy that tried to bring him down.
They're effectively putting this game in the hands of their defense.
The Bills took care of the first quarter. The Browns the next 17 points. Then the Bills for a couple of touchdowns. And the Browns with the last 10, including what is the difference right now, a 24-yard Billy Cundiff field goal. And there's 5:20 left. Browns don't need any more points, but they would love to get a 1st down, but they're going to have to earn this one.
Yeah, they're putting this game in the hands of the defense. It's 3rd and long. Draw, screen, crossing route, something conservative. Or maybe not.
And it might be a 1st down to Josh Gordon. I think he's right at the marker.
What the heck do I know?
Well, they needed 18, and guess what they got, Mike?
Hey, give Norv Turner some credit here. And nice route there by Josh Gordon, working on Aaron Williams, their best corner. And let's see him if he gets the football across the line. It certainly looks like he does.
How about Josh Gordon having the presence of mind to straighten out his helmet? His face mask was a little bit cockeyed there before he made the catch.
Right.
And a 1st down to the 47. Now they can use more clock. Well, that's how much I know, too. Whedon comes up throwing, and he's got it again. Another 1st down, and this one's Greg Little. And Little's giving Leotis McKelvin a ride.
Yeah, man. Browns fans are feeling it. let's not forget Whedon was a first-round pick for a reason. There's some arm strength here. McKelvin challenging in press, big-bodied Greg Little coming back, and that ball had some RPMs on it. Look at the fight. I'm 222 pounds and you're not.
That's right. All the way to the 31-yard line. Under 4 to go. Browns by a field goal. And now McGahee into the middle of the pile for only about a yard. Darius, one of the first guys to meet him again.
Yeah, Alonso is just doing a great job of beating the guard that's pulling inside the pulling guard, making hits in the backfield, and then Darius cleaned it up.
There's Norv. Norv calling the shots.
Let's go, man.
With the Chargers, and he's known Rob Chudzinski for a long, long time. And his son Scott on the staff as well.
Hey, nice 50.
This would be a huge win for Chud. Be 3 in a row. Pick the Browns at 3-2, but they still got 3 minutes to work. McGahee off the right side for about 3 more. Busy linebacker, number 50. Oh, man.
He came into the game. Listen to this line he had. He had 32 tackles, which was more than any other rookie in the league. He had 4 interceptions, most in the league. He had a sack and a forced fumble. All in the first 4 games he played.
2 of those interceptions last week helped them beat the defending world champion Ravens. Here's 3rd down and 6 as we're working our way to 2.5 minutes.
Big play right here.
Browns took over at their own 43 with exactly 7 minutes to go. So they chewed some clock. And they pick up another first down. Look out, Brandon Whedon. And he throws this one away. McGahee was the closest guy, but he got a lot of heat from Mario Williams again in the backfield.
Yeah, I think he wanted Gordon again, and Jimmy Leonard came over the top and effectively double teamed him. So good job by Whedon, just kind of throwing that thing away and try and guarantee that they kick a field goal, and 3 can't tie this game if they're up 6.
Billy Cundiff had a 51-yarder that really helped the cause last week in the win over Cincinnati. He did miss a couple makeable field goals.
Yep.
And this one's going to be from 44 yards out to try to give him a 6-point lead. Cundiff from 44. He's got it. Big kick. But the problem is it's a 1-score game. The new owner enjoying himself right now. He'd like 2 minutes and 19 seconds to fly by, though. So 2:19 remaining. The Bills have all 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning to work with. Don't forget, Sunday night, Terrell Pryor and the Raiders hosting Phillip Rivers. And the Chargers, who really were on cue last week. Can they be that good again? Special edition of Thursday Night Football on Sunday night, 11:30 Eastern, 8:30 Pacific time, live on NFL Network.
Well, Brad Nessler, first of all, if you can get a return here, and so far they haven't really been able to, it's going to help the cause, because when you set the table with this rookie quarterback, it doesn't look good if you're a Bills fan.
That's right.
Too many injuries.
And for the most part tonight, Easley has either had to take a knee or hasn't gotten much of a return. So Cundiff, who just hit the 44-yarder, set to kick away to number 81. He's not going to have a shot at this one either. Nope.
All right.
Here we go. We've been waiting for a tight game all year, partner. We got one.
So your rookie free agent quarterback has got the ball on the 20-yard line. Stevie Johnson is not in the huddle. We don't believe TJ Graham is. You're left with Robert Woods, Marcus Easley, and Chris Hogan as your wide receivers.
And they are all out there right now.
3 down.
Alert Scott Chandler also.
The Bills have one fourth-quarter comeback win this year. That was in week 2 against Carolina. But they were playing with E.J. Manuel.
He's out.
And he was out of bounds. Hogan's foot was out of bounds, I think, before he caught it, didn't he?
Yeah, he had no awareness of the sideline there. Wouldn't have really mattered. It was only a pickup of a couple anyway.
So second down and 10.
Saw Barkevius Mingo come off the edge like you want to see him on that last snap. He's got to be coming real hard off the edge now. Mingo's the first-round pick over here.
Number 51. Here he comes. They're going to throw a screen pass. Jackson, Fred Jackson, out across the 30. And a first down, Buffalo.
Good call.
Slows down that rush a little bit, picks up a first down, move the sticks, and work it to the 2-minute warning. Only 6 points separating the Bills and the Browns. We go down to the final 2 when we come back. Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Bridgestone. Our passion for performance knows no bounds. And brought to you by Windows. With a window of opportunity, here's Rich Eisen.
Getting set for the post-game show. We're going to get you the star of the game on the set for Week 5, which is coming down to quite a good one to start, Brad.
That it is. On first down, Jeff Toole throws short. Chris Hogan, nice spin move to pick up about 6 yards and get out of bounds.
7-11 for Monmouth. They're paying more attention to the guys they should. Robert Woods, Scott Chandler.
Remember, the Browns up by 6 and Buffalo needs a touchdown.
TJ Graham back in the game, bottom of your screen.
Second down and 3. Toole across the middle, intercepted. It's TJ Ward, and this will cap it for the Browns. Touchdown. A city disappointed by their beloved Cleveland Indians last night, but now the Browns are coming to the rescue.
TJ Ward picked his pocket. Rookie quarterback stared it down. Ward saw the whole way. Heck of a play by veteran safety.
First turnover of the game by either team. Wow. And it is a big one. Cundiff's extra point is good. The captain of the defense, TJ Ward.
Rookie quarterback TJ Ward sitting right here. Watch him read the head. He never stops from looking straight over there. Ward anticipates, jumps it. It's all over, folks. Heck of a game by the Cleveland Browns. Hanging in. Lost their quarterback. Whedon came in, got it done. Look at Toole staring that thing down.
TJ Ward read it like a Batman comic. 44 yards later, another leap.
Haslam, Joe Banner, doing a heck of a job. That's what's fun.
The Browns haven't won 3 of their first 5 games, folks, in 12 years. I think you can understand the jubilation at First Energy Stadium right now, and the disappointment of a rookie quarterback who was pressed into duty because the other rookie quarterback was injured. Remember when I said it's better to be 3-2 than 2-3? There's your chances of making the playoffs. And the Browns just went up. And who 2 weeks ago would have been talking Browns and playoffs in the same paragraph?
And let's look at their division right now, Brad. I mean, it's an eminently winnable division this year. One of the toughest divisions over the years. Baltimore, 2-2. You know, this is a division that if you hang in there, Pittsburgh doesn't have any wins. Cincinnati is what I thought one of the better teams in the league, but struggling a little bit right now.
Short pass over the middle. Still going to be a first down, though, for Fred Jackson. 25 straight when they trailed by 8. They lost. Goes back to 09. They trailed by 10-0 early tonight. And they come storming back. 37 points on the board, and it's getting better as they force the ball out of the hands of Toole. Armani Bryant has made a couple big plays in relief of Desmond Bryant in this game, and he made another one there.
Armani Bryant's a guy that I thought was a really talented kid. When I put his tape on, it was hard to watch because A, the quality of the tape from East Central wasn't great, and B, the quality of the competition was really poor. He had some off-the-field issues. He didn't go to the 7th round, but he's a height, weight, speed guy that's got more value if he can stay straight on the field.
The guy's had a heck of a night in what's going to be a losing cause, it appears. Timeout with 1:19 to go. Don't forget, next Thursday night, we're going to try to have this much fun in Chicago. Eli Manning trying to get the Giants on track. Their defense maybe can do it for them. Brandon Marshall and Jay Cutler and the company are waiting for them in Chicago next Thursday night, 8 o'clock Eastern, live on NFL Network. We'll be there. Hope you are too. There's the guy that was a star tonight, Travis Benjamin, with a huge night in punt returns. That helped set the stage for what appears to be the Browns' 3rd straight win. Still 1:19 left. Brandon Weeden played a good ball game when Hoyer got hurt. He's going to be with Rich and the guys on the set in the post-game show, so stick around for that. Fred Jackson gets out of bounds, stops the clock with 1:14 remaining.
And you know what? Congratulations to Brandon Weeden. 13 for 24, 197 yards, no interceptions, no fumbles. I think he's going to have a good time with the fellas after the game.
Well, Total Access post-game show with Rich and the guys a minute 14 from now. Hopefully the 2 quarterbacks that left the game with injury won't be out long. We wish them the best. Toole deep and just off the fingertips of T.J. Graham.
Good throw.
Yes. Should have had it.
Really good throw. It's a situation as a defensive back. I don't know why you're letting anybody behind you. I know the game's probably over. It was a double move, and of course they're going to run double moves, and that was Joe Hayden, which surprises me.
So 1 snap left unless the Bills can pick up 4 yards here. At the 38-yard line, they've got to get it out to the 42. Toole across the middle does get the first down to his tight end Scott Chandler right around midfield. And we're down to 1:01 and timeout taken. So Buffalo down to 2 timeouts remaining.
Cleveland was pretty active in the offseason. Joe Banner hired Chudzinski before he hired Mike Lombardi, who became the general manager, and I think they're believers they can compete while they get ready for the draft this coming year.
You know, a lot of guys, when you talked to Chudzinski yesterday, I said, Chud, do you have time to even look at this and say, man, I am coaching the team that I grew up watching?
Right.
And most coaches would say, well, you know, I can worry about that at the end of the season. He said, I have a smile on my face. I don't even need an alarm clock in the morning because I love coming to work because I'm coaching the team I grew up watching.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
really cool.
First down with a minute left. Toole's in trouble. Scrambles out of it, trying to get to the sideline, and he won't get there. Tracked down by Craig Robertson.
So they're a little faster up here than they were in the Pac-12.
Yeah. Yeah, guys weren't chasing me in the Palouse like that.
The Palouse.
AFC North.
Look at this.
2 weeks ago, who would have thunk it? How about that?
Now, Baltimore is going to get better, trust me. I believe in Harbaugh and I believe in Ozzie, and Cincinnati, watch out. So there's still a lot of drama left, but I'm happy for Cleveland.
You know, and a lot of fans around here the last couple of days, I don't know what they're more tickled about, at being 2-2 or that the Steelers were 0-4. There's a lot of people that were happier about that than they were about their team winning.
So look at the fellas in the pound. I mean, that's great. It's awesome. Way to go, Brandon Weeden.
Only 1 timeout remaining now for the Bills. Toole in trouble again. Got rid of it. Had Paul Hazel wrapped all around him.
Good to see these young guys. Paul Hazel, rookie out of Western Michigan. Some of these guys that didn't get drafted, didn't have a lot of notoriety. Paul Kruger got a big payday. Good for him.
Arkevious Mingo's had another good night. The rookie out of LSU. Third down and a bunch. Toole over the middle, got it to Chandler, and he might have enough height, not quite maybe, to fall for the first down. Clock running down near the half-minute mark. There's Mike, former colleague at NFL Network, and now the GM of the Browns.
I was on the field with him before the game. We were chatting about his team and how impressed I was on tape. And I said, "Do you miss the television?" He said, "Well, not talking about Tim Tebow. It's been a while."
Toole throws it over the head of Jackson. That'll do it. And it was Arkevious Mingo again that was putting pressure on the rookie quarterback, whose helmet's still not straight. This guy's going to be something special.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah, he really is.
So Barkevious, who's got a brother, Hutavious, and another brother, Ladarian. I think he told me one time his mom's name was Barbara, and that's why he got Barkevious. At any rate, Kiki Mingo played a good game tonight, and so did the Browns, who came in averaging 16 points a game. Their beloved Indians here in Cleveland were shut out last night. The Browns certainly weren't. They put up 37 points. 20 unanswered points over the final 20 minutes. And Rob Chudzinski's got a winning football team in first place in the AFC North by themselves. Good football game, great football game by number 80, Travis Benjamin. Tough night for the rookie quarterback, and we hope the other two quarterbacks that were injured will be healthy soon. 37-24. Browns go to 3-2. The Bills fall to 2-3. Don't forget, Chargers and Raiders special edition of Thursday Night Football on Sunday night, 11:30 Eastern, 8:30 Pacific time. And then next Thursday, hope you join us in Chicago. The Bears host the New York Giants. (37-24) the final. We're going to be back in a minute with a Total Access post-game show. Brandon Whedon's going to join Rich and the gang when we return.